That's how you start a Wednesday. Good morning, everybody. Ben and Woods, 97.3, The Fan. Great to be here with you. Let's get our heads right as best we can on a cold and rainy day. What?
Turn down your computer microphone.
Where? Over here?
Yes, on your laptop. There you go.
Much
Thank
better. Beautiful day out here in America's finest city. In all seriousness, please be careful. It's the worst I've ever seen it in my 13 plus years of living here. Just puddles on the freeway this morning. Puddles just going through them. Skidded no less than 7 times. I'm a pretty fast driver. When the rain comes, bro, I am very, very slow, very careful. And I was hydroplaning all over the place this morning. I got new tires, the whole thing. It's just nasty out there. So please be careful. We need our tier ones alive. And you don't want to get in a wreck today just because you're trying to get to work. Go to work for the man. Get yourself in trouble. Get yourself hurt. Get yourself killed. Hurt somebody else. Be safe. Be safe. Be smart. Give yourself a little extra time. Stay home. Call in sick. Do something, right? Revolt, if you will.
Leave early. Listen to more Ben and Woods.
Yeah, sit
nice slow drive into work if you have to.
Sit your happy ass at home today. Crank up the TV. Put on YouTube, and you can watch us live on YouTube right now. Just smash that subscribe button at Ben and Woods. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl. He's our executive producer. Good morning, pal.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Couldn't agree more. It was maybe the worst weather I've driven in 14 years.
The legs of my pants are all wet, and it's not conducive to a comfortable work environment. But we'll power through. That's what
I brought the umbrella.
I got mine too.
Didn't really help a whole lot. It helped a little.
Couple of soy boy betas with their umbrellas. We learned from Hammer that if you use an umbrella, then you're a beta, which is okay. I'm a half dry beta. I'm half dry. I'm half wet though as well. So half of me is alpha, half of me is beta. I'm like a centaur, right? Half man, half horse, except half wet, half dry. Benjamin Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, is here as well. Good morning, Benjamin.
Good morning. Yeah, I saw probably 4 or 5 accidents on my way home last night at midnight, and then saw another 2 or 3 on my way in this morning.
Did you see the one on the 5 going north? A couple fire trucks. I mean, it's just. Does Kelly Danick wake up on days like today and just go, cracks her knuckles? It's like, here we go. She's probably going to be able to do a 9-minute traffic report today. And by the way, we need it on the Ben and Woods program today. A 9-minute traffic report would kill a lot of time for us.
I judge the rain by, I assume most cars have the intermittent wipers, the slow, steady wipers, and then the fast, steady wipers. In San Diego, it's rainy if I have to use intermittent wipers.
Oh, yeah.
If you get up to slow, steady, that is heavy rain. I was on fast all the way. Every single moment of my drive was on the fast, choo, wiper all the way, and I needed it. It was that rainy and that wet this morning.
You guys on the stream may be wondering why Ben and I are dressed so Natalie this morning. We have a big meeting today, which some meetings you look forward to after the show. Most of the time after a 4-hour show, you really expend a lot of mental energy. I'm pretty exhausted when I leave here. You know, off season, especially baseball season, seems to kind of cruise a little bit more. But
I try to rest during the show, so I have lots of energy after it's over.
Also, the good thing is you take several dozen vacations to recharge throughout the year, so that helps you. For guys like me, I'm pretty wiped when I leave here. I really am. I'm kind of gassed. But we have a meeting today. Actually a big meeting. We're meeting with our agent. Dun, dun, dun. Big meeting. Basically to discuss the future of the Ben and Woods program.
Is that why you went dun dun dun, or is it more just because I get nervous when I meet with our agent because he's kind of fancy and intimidating?
He's massively fancy. He's massively intimidating. He's incredibly sharp. I love the guy to death. I do. His meetings, I have a time limit on our meetings. I'm going to go pick my kids up early from school because I don't want them at school in this crap. And if they're going to nap, just come nap at home. in your cozy bed, and I'm going to be there anyway. We have a parent-teacher conference via Zoom at 2, so just come on home. I'm going to go get them early. So that puts about an hour and a half time limit on our lunch, which, you got to get going. You got another job you got to get to. We can't sit there and chew the fat all day with him. That being said, this is our contract year for us. We're looking at some options and trying to figure out what exactly we want to do moving forward. So big day, exciting day. I enjoy meeting with our agent and, trying to see what we can do.
Not my favorite part of the business.
What, the contracts?
Yeah,
that's not mine either.
I'd rather just show up and do the show and work. And, I wish the other part could just take care of itself magically and I wouldn't have to worry about it.
Yeah. I mean, I used to feel that way too when I wasn't on a super successul show. I look forward to it more now than I ever have because now,
yeah, that's a good point.
That's when I've been on, dude. Here's how my old contract negotiations used to go. You ready? When I was your morning jock at 94.9. How you doing? Once you sit down, okay. So how's everything? Pretty good. Good. Yeah. You happy? Yeah, I'm happy. Bored. Yeah, I mean, I'm a little bored. I'm more of a creative person. Getting to talk for 15 seconds doesn't do a lot for me. But hey, man, at the end of the day, still a good gig. Happy to be here. Some of the music we play, I like. Cool. All right, we can give you a 1% raise this year. I know your numbers are really good, and the audience seems to enjoy you. And we did the survey, and people enjoy hearing you in the morning, and they like the music and stuff. So 1% sounds good. All right, man. See you later. Those days are gone. Those days are long gone.
I think people don't realize that for 98 to 99% of people in our business, in television and radio, that most contract negotiations go like, here's what we're going to pay you, take it or leave it.
Yeah.
There's no wiggle room. It's not as dramatic as in sports. We get the stories about contract, long
opting
contract
out.
Negotiations with lots of different clauses and perks and everything that goes on to attract, top level players. And you think, well, Ben Woods are top level players. It hasn't worked like that in media for quite some time. Maybe, like you said, this time will be a little bit different for us.
Last time was different.
It was a little bit better.
Yeah, no, it was a lot better. It was, it was double from when we started. I'd say that's pretty good. But that also goes to show you how bad the first one was.
True.
Right? So, yeah, it's a big day. It's a big day. And listen, there's a lot to be excited about with the future of this show. That's where Ben and I will be after the show today, doing that meeting. And it's funny because, you hear that and you go, oh, no, these guys are going to ask for too much money. It's really strange. The things that I would be asking for in the next contract aren't even really they're not all that financially motivated. I like to make money. I do. But I also want to put out a good product. And those are some of the things I want to ask for. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Along with a morning breakfast buffet.
I don't even care about the buffet. I just want certain things.
I want an omelet station.
That would be killer.
A carving guy.
I want the carving
guy. Like full time.
He could
sitting
be
right there.
Sitting right there, just doing our show with us. That I would. I would forego
a new fresh roast every single day.
Did you catch a game last night?
I did, man. Well, did you catch the game last night? Because that's what we're here to talk about.
Is it still hot out there?
It's not, actually. It's pissing rain and cold, and it sucks.
You got anything other than the meats over there, carving guy?
Have you tried the lasagna? It's my favorite.
That would be nice.
That would be. I don't know if I can eat lasagna this early.
Breakfast lasagna.
I have a bit of a sweet tooth.
Do you like hot fudge sundaes?
I like hot fudge sundaes. I do.
All right.
Our pal Steve Sugimoto in the Ben and Woods chat says Ben and Woods lifetime extension. I don't know that I'm going to sign a lifetime extension. Lifetime seems a long
Maybe
time.
You'd rather operate like a professional golfer like Steve Sugimoto. You get paid only if you do, if the show's great, you get the winner's check. If you don't make the cut, bad show, you get nothing.
We would be broke this year. We would be paying money in. As poor as our shows have been in 2023, we would be.
I disagree. I liked yesterday's show a lot. I was happy with it.
Yeah, okay. yesterday's show would have made us
like an 18th place finish.
We made like $50.
We made the cut.
Yeah, we made the cut.
We made the cut.
Listen,
solid.
We're not
solid perforance.
Our show, we're not gonna miss a lot of cuts. Okay, we're not gonna miss a lot of cuts.
I think we make the cut most days.
We're not gonna miss cuts. We're not. I don't know that we've ever missed a cut. We finished dead last before, though. In my mind, we've also ran away with it by 12 strokes. On Sunday, we've absolutely crushed it. So for those of you that don't know golf, you have no idea what we're talking about. But no, it's exciting. It's fun. I'm very proud of us. I'm proud of the work we've put in, and we care a lot about our show and the product that you guys hear every day. I know sometimes it doesn't seem like it. Sometimes it doesn't sound like it. But there's
a lot of phone calls, a lot of meetings, a lot of conversations,
hand wringing about it. Yeah, for sure. And that's my pledge always, is to try to give you the very best show we can every single day.
So you guys, I'm doing things a little bit differently this time around. I just need to know: do I need to potentially type up another BFF lifetime contract extension just for the three of us? Like, do I have anything? Is there anything I need to know before I do my thing? I mean, it worked pretty well last time.
It's not going to hurt you.
It worked pretty well.
It's not going to hurt you.
All right.
It wouldn't hurt Paul if he made us sign a friendship.
Paul, maybe something else coming. We'll see what happens.
Ben's gonna have to have a lawyer look at it.
A friendship contract. No, Paulie, I promise you, you will not be left behind. At least not by us. That's for sure. You know that. And it's exciting times. I'm excited for the meeting, but it's also a little bit dicey. You do get a little nervous around contract time. I was talking to my wife about it. Her dad, the great Lauren Nancaro, just every 2 years or something, it was just, she goes, he would just be a nightmare. And I'm like, oh yeah, I know. She's been living with this her whole life. Dad having to sign extensions and them saying, well, we're going to give you this. And him saying, nope, I'm out. And them saying, wait. They try something else for like 6 months and they're like, all right, we'll take you back. And, then the price goes up. So it's not a fun way to live. But once you get the ink on paper, feel pretty good for a while. At least a couple years.
Sure, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. A little security, always a good thing.
That conversation made you really nervous, didn't it?
Of course. I don't like necessarily talking about those sort of things, but that's okay.
A guy in our chat said, Ben, that's not how you negotiate. You just take what they give you. Jeter says, I think Ben wants out. Jeter, I get that feeling too. I get that sense right now. Just looking at him, how uncomfortable he is.
Someone out of this segment, yes.
David says it would be dope to see y'all hella old still running the show. I agree. I don't want to do anything else.
That's the dream,
It really is.
Still old and gray and still doing Ben and Woods in the mornings on 97.3 The Fan. Well, in our effort to make the cut on the show today.
Well, good morning, everybody.
Who knows? Maybe even
get your heads right on a Wednesday.
Maybe we'll be in contention at the end of the show today. We've set some stuff up, obviously, middle of the week here Wednesday. But one of the big stories right now in sports is the MLB television situation with Diamond Sports. They officially filed for bankruptcy yesterday. What does it mean for viewers of the San Diego Padres and other teams? How are you going to be able to access your Padres watching, your sports watching in a very changing landscape? Josh Kosman from the New York Post, who's been writing about the bankruptcy, had another piece out yesterday, is going to join us coming up at the bottom of the hour with something that I think is fresh and big on the minds of Padres fans right now with just 2 weeks to go. 2 weeks from tomorrow is opening day. Will you be able to watch that game on television like you normally do? It's still kind of a little bit up in the air. I mean, the MLB has promised you will be able to see games, but they're not saying exactly, or maybe not sure exactly how it's going to look this season. So we'll talk to Josh Kosman coming up at 6:35. Always good to catch up with an old friend, Craig Calcaterra, one of our favorite baseball writers. He's got a very successful newsletter.
We haven't
daily.
talked to him in ages.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Man.
Very
I love
smart
Cal.
guy that we love talking to. He's going to be with us at 7:35 this morning as well. We're following the World Baseball Classic. And he hit another home run last night. They're playing a quarterfinal right now between Australia and Cuba, so we'll keep you updated there. The NCAA tournament kind of underway. The first four started last night. Officially, though, all the big games just over 24 hours away. So we can talk college hoops and more on a Wednesday. Throwback Thursday.
Tomorrow.
What's the Wednesday show? Because we used the separate open. Do we have a name for it?
Nope.
Just a Wednesday show with our alternate open with Ben and Woods. Obviously, the traffic is bad out there. Let's see how it's looking with Kelly, and then we'll be back with the Daily Diddy and more on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. You know anything about this Daily Ditty selection from listener Mark Woods?
Yeah, Patti Smith. People have the power. Just one of the kind of pioneers for women in punk music and rock music. Just a beast. Patti Smith. It is. It's Women's Month here in the country. So we did yesterday. Played a little. Meg White. There was some discourse about her going around Twitter. Former drummer of the White Stripes, and I thought, well, let's get some White Stripes for sure, and then let's just keep that theme rolling throughout the month, because I got to tell you, man, the women are saving rock and roll right now. Honestly, there's better rock music coming out of women than men, and it's not even particularly close. I'll play you one before we get out of here this week. I mean, there's so many good bands that are fronted by women right now that it's not even funny. I mean, they're smoking the dudes right now, smoking them in rock and roll. And in country music, like good country, like not new, jangly, 6-pack of beer country, like really good country. So they're dominating right now. So we'll give them a little love.
Well, I need you to win Take on Woods today, or I won't even get a selection this week.
That's true.
Because you've already had the loss on Friday and a loss yesterday. Yeah. I may get pushed off until the following week if you don't come through with a victory. Coming up at 7:10 this morning on Take on Woods.
Or shockingly enough, you'll get your pick on Friday, and guess who's got a new theme on Monday?
It'll be Woods again.
I think we just roll with women through the rest of the month. We got a few more days.
They do represent 51% of the population. Shouldn't be that hard.
Exactly right.
To find lots of great female artists on Take on Woods and the Daily Ditty. All right, update from the World Baseball Classic. Australia down to their last 2 outs. They trail Cuba 4-3 in the first quarterfinal over. This one's being played in Asia, I think in Taiwan. The winner will come over to Miami as part of the final group, the single elimination at the end. Australia needs a base runner here or something because they're down 1. Now it's a big game today for the United States. Win, and they're in against Colombia. But lose, and they'll be in a tiebreaker, and it doesn't look particularly good. Mexico and Canada are both 2-1 because Canada won yesterday. They'll play each other. So one of them is definitely going to be 3-1.
Yep.
And then the other one would be 2-2, and Colombia would be 2-2, and the United States would be 2-2. So they basically have a 1-3 chance in going in a tiebreaker if they lose the game today to Colombia. So pretty important, kind of almost a must-win game for the United States because they could potentially be eliminated from the WBC if they don't win today.
Do we know who's on the bump?
I'm not sure who's pitching for the U.S. in this game.
Oh, you don't want to walk this guy here, man.
Yeah, 3-1 count. You don't want to put the Australians on.
ESPN has the base Merrill Kelly listed as the probable today.
From the Diamondbacks.
Oh, he wanted it. Ooh, man. I could watch this, actually. This is really good.
At the end here?
But alas, I can't.
Because it's behind you?
I have business.
And you have a show to do?
Business to do.
You can keep us updated on what's going on.
How? I can't see it.
That's a good point. And also talk at the same time.
Eyes in the back of my head.
The Dominican Republic, looking a little bit better after their win yesterday. Manny Machado, homer, double. Juan Soto, a couple of more runs scored. They continue to power the offense. For the DR, they had a 10-0 run rule victory over Israel. So now they'll play Puerto Rico. The winner is in, the loser is out, I believe, on that one, since Venezuela's 3-0. So the winner goes on to the next round, the loser goes home. So huge game for the Dominican Republic at 4:00 today. And then the U.S.-Colombia game, I believe, is at 7:00 today. So
all right, well,
really, really big day in the WBC.
To call Manny, just to say Manny hit a home run, I think you're just doing it a little bit of a disservice.
That's true.
No,
that's true.
Yeah, big time. Machado deep and gone up onto the patio.
Damn near left the building.
Out of the yard.
He had his plátanos today.
He had his plátanos today. I have plátanos in my mine's just a banana, but it's in my backpack. No whipped cream. That ball was hit 437 feet. Murdered.
You got all of it.
He got.
I mean, and we said the day before he hit like 1,800 feet worth of balls in his 5 at-bats, and then he smacks one 437 feet today. I mean, he's going to have a mile of hits and outs just in the World Baseball Classic alone here.
I'm telling you, I've been watching baseball a long time. Yes, I missed the guys in the 60s and maybe, some of them in the 70s. Saw a lot of the guys in the 80s, a lot of the guys in the 90s, the 2000s. I have never seen a right-handed hitter wait on a breaking ball like Manny Machado. It is purely sexual when he does it. I've never seen somebody that's better at sitting back on a recognizing a breaking ball and just leaning on it. Never. Manny Ramirez, close. Frank Thomas, fine. Manny Machado. I've never seen it, man. That hanger, just somebody hangs one and he just doesn't miss them.
It feels like Soto and Machado are both setting themselves up for monster seasons. And then who knows? You may get monster seasons out of Bogarts, Tatis, Cronenworth. Kim looks like, he could have a good year. That's 2/3 of your lineup right there that has the potential for really outstanding success in 2023. The question is, will you be able to see it at home and see it the way you're used to seeing it on your televisions? When we come back, Josh Cosman from the New York Post following this Diamond Sports bankruptcy, what it means for Valley Sports, streaming possibilities for Major League Baseball. All of that will get you the absolute latest coming up next with Ben and Woods. Do not go away. It's San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. This hour 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by 5-Hour Energy. Visit 5hourenergy.com. Replace your afternoon coffee with a 5-Hour Energy. Perfect when you're feeling coffeeed out and your stomach will thank you. Discover 5-Hour Energy. Learn more at 5hourenergy.com. I'll make Kelly wait with her update on the 60 accidents on our rainy roadways for a couple of minutes.
Not a joke, by the way.
No,
60.
no. She said 60 already this morning. So drive carefully. It is pouring rain out there. But joining us right now on our premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline from the New York Post. He's been covering the Diamond Sports bankruptcy. They're the company also known as Bally Sports, where you get your Padres games. Josh Kosman is with us here on 97.3 The Fan. Josh, thank you for your time this morning. You're on with Ben and Woods in San Diego.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
First of all, we had an update yesterday on this story. You were writing about it earlier this week, but the bankruptcy is now official from Diamond Sports. Does that change anything, or was all expected at this point?
This was all expected. In fact, Diamond has really been planning for this since last fall. And so has MLB, by the way. Both have sort of been planning for this.
So we had kicked it around yesterday on our show, and for our listeners, our listeners and Padres viewers, we go through this every year. You know, they 1 year it was, if you get YouTube TV, you can watch the games. That went away after a year. It's
always right around this time too,
always,
like 2 weeks before opening day, and everyone goes, "Where am I going to watch the games?"
There's this panic that sets in San Diego, Josh, and it is, oh no, where do I watch these games? Do I need to sign up for cable? Like I said, I need to watch the games. I love to watch the games. I signed up for cable, so I've got cable. I've got MLB TV. I'm spending a lot of money to do so. That said, for our audience out there, what could you tell them about maybe the best way to be able to view the games this year?
Well, it looks as though, based on our reporting, that Bally's is going to drop the Padres. They're going to reject the Padres contract. They lose $20 million a year on the Padres deal. They pay the team roughly $60 million and take in less than $40 million from cable companies, along with advertising. So in bankruptcy, you can reject a contract. So they are planning to reject the Padres contract. That could happen in days. It could happen in weeks. It could be a month or two, but it'll be somewhat soon.
Go ahead.
MLB, knowing this, although they and Diamond do not, or Bally's, the same thing. They don't get along, but just the same, MLB is prepared for this. And they are planning to stream Padres games for free until they can work out, and if they work out, new deals with the Cox and other cable companies in the San Diego area. So the plan is for no Padres fan to go without an ability to watch the game on television. But, these are plans. Things are uncertain. So we'll see.
Josh, can you speak any more on how Bally Sports got into this situation? Because for the Padres in particular, you said, well, they're paying out 60 and they're only making 40, so they're losing 20 million. Ratings have been through the roof. Interest in the Padres is higher than it has ever been in my lifetime. You'd be thinking Bally Sports should be doing really, really well. I mean, they couldn't have even imagined that they'd be doing this well, over the life of the contract they signed a few years ago. So why are things going so badly for Bally Sports, especially here in San Diego?
Good question. So on a macro level, they paid $9.6 billion in 2019, only 4 years ago. Sinclair did, for what were the Fox Sports networks. They renamed it Diamond and then sold the naming rights to Bally's. That basically Sinclair bought this for $9.6 billion then. At the time, they thought it was a steal, but as it's turned out, cord cutting has accelerated quite a bit, and most cable companies around the country now have sports tiers. So that eliminates non-sports fans from paying the price for a Bally's TV in their market. So you couple those two together, and the amount of money one can get from regional sports networks is completely collapsed. So this $9.6 billion deal included $8 billion in debt financing, meaning that Bally's, Diamond, borrowed $8 billion to finance the transaction. So the company was heavily in debt, is heavily in debt. That's why they just declared bankruptcy. And the earnings have completely fallen off the map. So this turned out to be a terrible acquisition. So in bankruptcy, what the creditors hope to do is make Diamond profitable by focusing on the profitable contracts and rejecting the unprofitable ones. And I hate to say it for San Diego, but the Padres are probably the most unprofitable contract they have in baseball, the NBA, or NHL.
Like Ben just said, it's staggering to think about based on just the fever pitch for the team here in San Diego. Josh, we're talking to Josh Kosman, business journalist for the New York Post. Do we trust Major League Baseball to, and I know you said they've been prepared, they've known this was coming. Do we trust Major League Baseball to be able to deliver this product seamlessly? You're talking about a league who we all love that don't know what they're doing with their baseballs at this point, in the game. Their baseballs are different for certain teams. And now I got to trust that they're not only going to give me a great product, they're going to do it for free. Typically, don't we get what we pay for, especially when it comes from Major League Baseball?
I look, there's no way to know until this actually rolls out.
Fair, yeah.
My guess is there's enough on the line for baseball, and they've had long enough to prepare, and they've been hiring executives who basically ran the Fox network, that I'm going to guess they're going to get it right. But again, we won't know until it rolls out. The good news is if they do get it right, they're planning to offer it for free until they can work deals with local cable companies, which will be for less money than they're paying now. And then they will still offer over the top for about $15 a month, which is less than what teams are charging that do offer over the top service. So in the end, this may be good for Padres fans, but on the other hand, there could be some bumpiness on the way there.
Josh, last thing for me, obviously, we haven't seen it here in San Diego where Peter Seidler has spent exorbitantly on his payroll, but in a lot of other smaller markets, you see owners saying, hey, we got to keep the payroll low because we don't get as much. Now we're hearing that those contracts, might be even lower than ever. Does this have the potential to affect the economics of baseball and the ever escalating salaries for players? Could this be a legitimate, like in the next contract talks between players and owners, a sticking point where they say, hey, the media deals aren't there anymore. We can't keep paying you what we've been paying you.
Well, if they don't, just not to interrupt you, but if it's not, they're going to make it so. They're going to say that that's happened. I mean,
sure, yes.
They're absolutely, the owners are absolutely going to go to the table, I think, in the next CBA and say, well, I mean, look at all this money we lost. They did it, they did
for the pandemic.
For the pandemic.
Of
look
course.
at all this money we lost.
That's business
TV
101,
deals.
Josh, I assume.
I'm sure that's going to happen.
Well, I think you guys are definitely right. Now, whether a Peter Seidler, who made a fortune in private equity, whether this impacts him considering the money he's been spending out there, I don't know. Next thing you guys are going to tell me it's raining in San Diego.
Pouring. Miserable.
Yes, I don't know Seidler's personal situation beyond the fact he's a private equity bazillionaire, but overall, yes, it will definitely impact certain teams, and a lot of baseball teams don't make money as is, and this will be a significant hit, and it could be for the Padres. Again, how much it impacts him, he should have been aware this was coming in the off season when he signed Xander Bogaerts to a gosh amounts of money. So then, by the way, I'm not saying that won't work out, putting my fan hat on. But,
that's all right.
It was a lot of money for a shortstop in the back end of his career. But, that being another matter, he didn't seem reluctant to spend money in the offseason, and he must have known this was coming. So I don't know how this will impact the Padres directly. But for baseball overall and small team owners, and I'm not sure I'd consider the Padres a small market team anymore, he's somewhere in the gray area. But let's say for the Cleveland Indians, where Paul Dolan doesn't have enough money to sign big name players and was making a lot from his media rights deals, and their contract will be rejected. They were operating on a knife's edge anyway. So will it affect the Guardians? I would think for sure. The Padres, it could, although the way Seidler's been spending, maybe not.
Josh, really appreciate the insight. Thank you so much for your time. If you could do me just one favor, I have a pet peeve. Could you talk to the headline writers at the Post in New York when they write about the Padres, they abbreviate it the Pods, P-O-D-S.
Yeah.
No one calls them that. It's the Padres, P-A-D-R-E-S, not the P-O-D-S. But they'll do like the headline, Pods beat Mets in playoffs, P-O-D-S, Pods. That's not.
And you're rubbing that in a little bit.
Well, yes.
Yeah,
but I don't know. It's just a pet peeve of mine. They're not the Pods, P-O-D-S.
And they're not the Pads either. P-A-D-S doesn't really work necessarily. That's, I don't know.
I'll pass your message along.
Thank you, Josh.
Thanks,
Appreciate
man. That was
it.
great stuff.
Sure, thanks for having me.
Josh Kosman from the New York Post with us on our Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline. Save money the right way with Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad. Visit them today in the Carlsbad Auto Mall. Chevrolet, find new roads. And speaking of those roads, we'll react to just what you just heard after we check on those 60 accidents with Kelly Danick. Joe Ray on the YouTube chat says the Pod Squad may disagree with you, but it's PAD Squad, not the POD Squad. Someone said like Tide Pods beat the Mets. They're not the PODS Pods.
Well, listen, you can call us anything you want as long as we keep bodying the New York Mets. You can call us literally anything you want. I don't feel disrespected, especially after going in there and whipping up on Max Scherzer and the like. But no, I liked that interview a lot. That's a really, really smart dude, Josh Kosman. And you can give him a follow on Twitter as well.
So ultimately, if you're a fan, at least in the short term, you may be able to make this work for you. If you don't want to go out and pay for cable and you don't want to pay for MLB TV, you might still be able to get Padres games for free streaming this year and save a ton of money. Now
and I'm assuming that what that would look like is you would just simply download the MLB TV app on your phone, on your Fire Stick, your smart TV, set up an account, which they're not going to, bang you for now at this point.
You can sign up for free.
Okay.
I've had MLB TV in the past. I don't currently have it, and I didn't have it last year, but the app is still on my Roku smart TV interface.
Yep.
And you can go on and
it just won't be paywall blocked.
They'll show highlights. There's always a free game of the day or something.
Yeah, always a free game of the day.
And I imagine the Padres it'll be like watching the free game of the day, right?
Yeah. And the thing is one thing that Josh said that really stuck out to me is until they get a deal done. Now, if you're Major League Baseball and you're putting out a free product on, by the way, one of the hottest teams in baseball, period. I mean, it's where everyone's talking about the San Diego Padres. This isn't the Padres in 1988. This is like, dude, people are interested and they're interested across the country. You're seeing more Padres merch everywhere. Doesn't it behoove Major League Baseball, Ben, to say, let's get this effing deal done ASAP and start banging these people for $15.95 at least a month.
When they're desperate for Padres baseball, you want to take advantage of this roster and get as many people signed up as you can, because basically through inertia, the people who sign up now will probably just go on, maybe for the next 4 or 5, who knows how many seasons, once you are paying and subscribing, going, I was getting it for free, but I like the product. I like the Padres. Yeah, I'll pay. I'll just keep paying now. Just keep charge me monthly, whatever. Here's my credit card number. Charge me monthly now. I'm in. I'm with it. They'll have tons of subscribers, but you have to get it done and set up that way, and they haven't done that yet.
And that's the thing that I caution everyone that's like, this is going to be great. I'll get to watch Padres games for free all year. I can't imagine it stretching even to the All-Star break, where you get them for free. Now, again, the price that you pay.
It's always hard to take something free away from people, though.
Not really.
That's where you get a lot of complaints.
Not really. I mean, it's not. It's not if it's
like it's a free trial, like for you get a free trial for something.
It's really not hard at all when you get them hooked on it and they want to keep coming back every single night to watch their Padres. And then you say, hey, by the way, starting June 1st, it's going to be $15.95 a month.
In the streaming world, it happens all the time.
But how's it going for like Twitter? You know, you had something that was free for years and years, and now, you know, Elon Musk wants you to pay for it. Some people don't want to pay for that.
Some people do. Some people don't pay for it. And that's everybody's prerogative. Right? Will they lose people? Yeah, I'm sure they will. I think that's just the nature of the business. But another really interesting part.
But remember, it wasn't free before. It feels free because you're already paying your cable bill, and
it was just free when we were kids.
It's rolled into a lot of charges you were already paying. Yeah. But one of the reasons your cable bill or your DirecTV bill was so high was to subsidize these regional sports channels, and send that $5 or $6 of that bill every month was going to Bally Sports, to help pay for the Padres, telecasts and their rights fees that they had.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. And as long as they're going to make it easy, as long as they're going to make it easier on the fans or easy on the fans to watch the product, they'll be fine. And like he said, for a nominal fee. Now, if I told you, hey, man, you're going to get 28 Padres games a month for $15.95, who says no to that? Who says no to that? Probably charge me $25.95 a month. I mean, what are we talking about? These are games that my family revolves their day and their weekends around. Like man, that's a fair deal in my opinion. But the other really interesting part is when the CBA expires, bro, this is number one on most owners' lists. I mean, he just talked about Dolan in Cleveland. He said he's operating on a razor's edge. I mean, you maybe shouldn't own a baseball team then. If that's why you're in it.
And when you say teams are losing money, maybe on a year-to-year basis, operating income is, they're spending more than they're making. But come back to me when an owner buys a team for $3 billion and has to sell it for $2 billion. Then they're losing money. But when you buy a team for, $800 million and you sell it for $3 billion, all right, you made $2.2 billion. Maybe you lost $100 million while you were, operating the team for 10 years. But if you made $2.2 billion while losing $100 million, you still made a ton of money,
of course,
while you were owning that team.
And that's what they always say about the, ownership of a team. It's your net worth, Ben, is through the roof because of those teams. Dom tweets in, sure, free Padres game sounds good, but if my Wi-Fi is trash, bro, I feel that. I said it yesterday. I said streaming stuff sucks sometimes. It just does. And I hate to tell you, you're going to have to grin and bear it. But I mean, what is your other option? Go to the game, I guess. So that's really it.
People want to know what's going to happen to Don and Mud. They're team employees already, even though they were on Bally Sports. Yep. So you'd imagine there would be no change whatsoever. If the MLB was producing it, they'd use their employees that they already have. Now, maybe they'll have to tighten their belts. Don won't be able to eat such gourmet foods anymore.
He's cut back already. Maybe he knew this was coming.
That's true. He's gone lean for this season.
He's lost 24 pounds.
Well, I don't know what Mud's going to do, though. He tightens his belt, he may explode.
Wow. Hope that doesn't get back to him.
It's pot meets kettle.
Yeah. It's funny. It's true.
All right, we'll come back, play some Take on Woods. Does the U.S. have a World Baseball Classic problem that other countries don't? We'll discuss that as well in 97.3 The Fan. Been Rushified here on Ben and Woods.
You've been Rushified. The holy triumvirate.
All up in ya.
Did you watch any of the first four yesterday? Well, the first two of the first four.
Well, you know I did because I texted you about it. I watched 3 minutes of Purdue.
No.
Did you catch a game last night?
Pitt is what I meant.
Mississippi State. Good game. Went down to the wire. Mississippi State had a wide open 3 to win it. So Pitt scored with about 12 seconds left to take a 60-59 lead. The ball went out of bounds right under the basket with like 3 seconds left. So Mississippi State running an inbounds play, to score. Pitt completely lost one of the guys. Completely lost one of the Mississippi State shooters. They inbounded to him. He's got 2 seconds to line up an absolutely wide open 3 to send his team on in the NCAA tournament. Didn't make it.
You know what?
And I'm sure it's going to eat away at that kid forever. 3-point shots are still,
still,
they're less than 50% propositions. It's a coin flip usually that doesn't go your way, but he had no one in his face, and it's got to sting when you had that opportunity.
So I texted you guys about it last night. I know they've been doing this for a couple of years. This is that weird, it's that weird pick on the bracket where it's like doesn't matter who
it's a slash, which is
weird.
You get both teams.
You get both.
You get both. Whoever wins that game. So even if you had Mississippi State going on to the Sweet 16, if Pitt goes to the Sweet 16, you're still good.
Is that right?
Because you get both of those teams.
Okay.
If you pick them. Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean
the odds of that.
Yeah, I had to Ben playing the first 4 to Woods last night.
Yeah.
It's
again.
I don't know. It feels
You'll
like
have to do the same thing next year.
It was like 10
they still do
10 to 15 years ago where they had more conferences, so they wanted to give automatic berths to the conference winners, but they didn't want to take away at-large berths from the bigger conference teams. So instead of keeping the field at 64, they just added 4 more teams. Now it doesn't work out evenly at 68.
Right.
When you go 64, it goes 64, 32, 16, 8, 4, 2, 1. 68, you have to have 8 of the teams play early, and that reduces it to 64, and then they fit neatly into an actual single elimination bracket.
Yeah, so they had
hence the first 4 was born.
So they had the first 4 last night. What was the other game?
The other game was one of the 2 16 seeds, Southeast Missouri State against Texas A&M Corpus Christi.
Oh, I think Bo picked Texas
and they
A&M
did, and they did win. Well, no, he picked them against
the next one.
Alabama in the next game.
Right.
Yeah. See, he gets both of those schools no matter what.
Well, listen. Good pick by him because now they're red hot. They've already got a game under their belt.
That's right. That's right. I'm sure they're going to take down the number 1 overall seed in the first round after beating Southeast, that juggernaut of Southeast Missouri State, aka SEMO.
If Bo gets that pick right, he's crowned mayor of San Diego. If that happens, he has the Aztecs going and winning it all. By the way, my little 5-year-old who did his picks the other night, he really is high on Foreman. He really loves Furman, and you said this morning a lot of the smart money is on Furman
in the first round. Yeah, big upset pick over Virginia. That would be the Aztecs' second round opponent. If Furman pulls off the upset and San Diego State wins, you could see an SDSU Furman matchup on Saturday in the second round.
So I did watch a little of that, and by a little I mean like 2 to 3 minutes of it. Then I went to put on the baseball game, and it was a blowout. So I just was like, I'm gonna find something else. Watch that. That was the blowout game, yeah.
DR Israel 10-0 or
no
the Mexico Canada game. That was a close one.
It was a close one. That one I
Mexico
watched.
Canada. It was
it was Mexico Canada, right? 2-1 final.
2-1 final.
I got bored with it, so I shut it off and I watched Ted Lasso.
Mexico, Great Britain. 2-1. Yeah,
that's right. I watched Ted Lasso instead. Season 3.
So you turned off Great Britain to watch Ted Lasso.
What happened? I saw. They aired. I thought it was airing tonight.
So that's what I heard too. And then I saw somebody tweet, "Oh my god!" It said,
I saw a headline like they're saying, "Oh, it's a special. They're doing it a day early now."
Yeah, they did it. They dropped it a day early, which was such a nice surprise. And I'm not going to spoil anything for you guys if you haven't. Are you caught up on the show?
I've watched season 2. I think.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a while ago.
It was. It was a very. It was like a very
2021.
Yeah, it's been a while, but dude, that show just wrecks me. It just wrecks me. It's so good. And they came out of the gate really kind of punching you in the mouth a little bit with a couple of storylines that are going on. Of course, the big one, Nate, the former towel boy, Ben, of for Ted Lasso.
Was
now
made an assistant coach.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now is running a Premier League team. and is he's a little P-R-I-C-K. He's a little jerk. And that's going to be he
was so nice though.
He was like the sweetest kid. It's like the sweetest guy. And then all of a sudden you get a little power, you get a little fame, and you turn into a huge A-hole.
Would that be tough to be the actor and like I'm playing this sweet character and now I have to play kind of a guy that people don't like anymore?
So like no BS. Who was the kid from Game of Thrones? The prince, the young
Joffrey.
So I only watched the first season. Joffrey, I remember seeing him and getting viscerally like, I hate this kid. If I see him on the street, I might have a problem with him. And apparently that's what happened to that kid. I don't think he acts anymore.
The actor, yeah, it was Jack something. I think was the actor.
Because I'm done. People loathe me. They loathe me.
Which means he was great.
That means you nailed it.
You were fantastic in the role. You were so good that you made people actually hate you personally.
I feel like that's how it's going for Nate. They're going to need to turn this arc for him around, or he's going to like get accosted in the streets, man. I tweeted a picture of him last night, and Tier 1B George sent me a screenshot of him and his son texting each other about how much they hate Nate. So that's a really good storyline. The show it's so warm. It's just a warm show, and they really did a good job.
Premiering in the summer of 2022 was just perfect. It was what we all needed.
Laying on my couch weeping, and here's my takeaway is though, Ted Lasso, the nicest guy on the planet. Even his wife is like, I don't like him. Well, there's no hope for us. There's no hope. If Ted Lasso isn't the perfect man, then there's no hope for any of us with our wives. None. Zero. He's the best guy around. He's the best dude going. And even he is like, his wife's like, I'm out.
It can be a problem for
nice guys. Nice guys finish where?
Well, lower in the standings. Let's just say that. I don't want to say last.
Like third place.
But yeah. Yep. Middle of the standings.
They'll make the cut.
Yeah. Contestant for Take on Woods, 833-288-0973. We're just a minute or two away. You want to call in. I mentioned the problem for Team USA at the World Baseball Classic. We got into it a little bit, and we can discuss it more later. But the fact that their pitchers are not the top pitchers in America, that so many of them bypass the World Baseball Classic, whereas other countries are getting the Sandy Alcantaras, it really has lent – it's hard to fully embrace the competitive spirit of the WBC when you feel like some countries are going all out and the U.S. is kind of going all out and kind of not in the middle of the tournament.
Well, I saw the article from Ken Rosenthal, and I thought it was embarrassing. I really did. It was the vibes of, should we even be doing this? I mean, they lost one game to Mexico, and then the next day there's an article. Like, you're going to lose sometimes in baseball.
Do you think it's just a sour grapes from the loss?
Yeah.
I mean, his premise is completely accurate. The best pitchers are not pitching for Team USA.
Right.
Where most of the other countries have gotten, a higher percentage of their better starting pitchers.
I saw a tweet that said, don't tell me that you want to get ready for the season. Shohei Ohtani is potentially staring down a $500 million contract, and he's out there busting his ass for Team Japan.
But are you mad at Joe Musgrove for not wanting to be with the Padres and prepare that way?
I mean, I'm not mad at Joe Musgrove per se. I would have liked a better starting rotation of guys that maybe I could root for. Problem is, too, I don't really like many of the guys in the lineup either. So I love the passion of the DR. I love the passion of Cuba. I love the passion of Venezuela. That's what baseball is to me. That's what it's about, passion, and I think we're lacking in that department. Now you go to Petco Park for a playoff game against the Dodgers, no lack of passion.
So it's not inherently something that it's not a fan problem. What's the problem then? It's
a culture. Well, there's so many other sports here too. You go to the DR, they eat it, they sleep it, they breathe it, they hit bottle caps.
We only have so much, and we save it up for the World Series, the playoffs, October, the regular season.
I fully
we don't
agree.
Want to spend it in March.
I fully agree.
And that's kind of part of Ken's point.
Dude, I got buddies that played adult league in Mexico, and they would have 5,000 people at their game. Adult league baseball, not even professional baseball. They would have a full stadium. It's a different culture. They love it more than we do, and that's okay. That's okay to admit. They're better fans than we are. It's okay to admit.
Better is a loaded word.
It's not.
They're different fans.
They're better. They're more supportive. They're more boisterous. They're more passionate. They're louder. I understand again. Hey, well, Woodsy, what about?
Are they also more vicious about their teams in certain circumstances as well?
I mean, I don't see that part of it necessarily. Where is that sense of pride for Garrett Cole?
Do their sports talk radio hosts hold feet to the fire more?
Right, maybe down in Mexico and in the DR. Where's the American pride?
Los pies en la fuego.
Yeah, there you go.
Something like that. El fuego.
Where is Max Scherzer? He can't now. Again, some of these aged guys, I kind of understand that. But some of the younger guns in baseball to come out and throw would have been cool. All
right, you leave. Let's play a little Take on Woods and see if we can qualify someone for a trip to Vegas. Paulie? All right, Craig answered the call this morning. Hello, Craig. How are you?
How's it going, boys?
All right, Woods has been a little vulnerable. If you'd like to join the ranks of people qualified for our getaway to Las Vegas, here's your opportunity. If you beat or tie Woods, you will be in the drawing for a 2-night stay at the Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino and tickets to see 38 Special. They're celebrating 4 decades together, live in concert April 28th at the International Theater at the Westgate. 2 nights, 2 tickets to the show. Let's see if you can qualify here. Your categories are, Craig, we still have Jesus. I like him very much. The name Jesus and all those answers. Teeny boppers, 5 song titles that include the word teen. And our new category, The Beat is On, 5 musical answers that include the word beat. So, Craig, Jesus, I like him very much. Teeny boppers or The Beat is On. What would you like to play?
Since nobody wants Jesus, I'll go with Jesus.
He's going to take it. It's been sitting there for like a week and a half. All right, we're finding Jesus today on Take on Woods with 5 musical answers that all include the name Jesus. You'll have 60 seconds to answer as many of the 5 as you can. Pass if you don't know one. We'll come back to it if there's time left on the clock. Woods will then come back in. We'll compare scores and see if you qualify for the trip to Vegas. The first question is our 2-second song. Paulie will play 2 to 4 seconds of a well-known hit. You need to give me the title and the artist to score that one. Craig, are you ready to play?
Hallelujah.
All right, 60 seconds on the clock. I like it. He's in the spirit. The category, Jesus, I like him very much. Your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck, Craig. Let's take on Woods.
Reach out, touch faith.
Personal Jesus to Texas.
Correct. Which British band was nominated for a 1991 Grammy for their hit Right Here, Right Now?
Jesus Jones.
Correct. Carrie Underwood surrenders herself to the Lord in which 2005 single that became her first #1 hit?
Jesus is with me. I don't know.
Incorrect. Which Scottish alt rockers had their biggest success in the early 90s with songs including Blues from a Gun and Sometimes Always?
Ministry?
Incorrect. The plot of which Andrew Lloyd Webber musical is mostly centered around the disciple Judas?
Oh my God, man. Jesus Christ Superstar.
You got that one. That's 3 out of the 5. Not bad at all, Craig. That is your score. You are locked in. Personal Jesus, Depeche Mode, Jesus Jones, and Jesus Christ Superstar. Carrie Underwood's hit is called Jesus Take the Wheel. And the Scottish band is called the Jesus and Mary Chain, but you did get 3. Let's bring Woods in and give him the same 5 questions without the benefit of pre-knowledge of the category. Now, sometimes he figures it out as we go along, but he doesn't get it beforehand. Craig's score is locked in. Looking for a win here. We've got 60 seconds back on the clock. Reset our 2-second song. Headphones on. Your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck, Woods. Let's take on Craig.
Reach out, touch faith.
True Faith by Depeche Mode.
Incorrect. Which British band was nominated for a 1991 Grammy for their hit Right Here, Right Now?
Right. Jesus Jones.
Correct. Carrie Underwood surrenders herself to the Lord in which 2005 single that became her first #1 hit?
Jesus Take the Wheel.
Correct, which Scottish alt rockers had their biggest success in the early 90s with songs including Blues from a Gun and Sometimes Always.
Oh, Jesus and Mary Chain.
Correct, the plot of which Andrew Lloyd Webber musical is mostly...
Jesus Christ Superstar.
Whoa, and he steals the 4-3 win after missing the 2 seconds.
You know
What's
what it
that
is
song
now?
called?
Personal Jesus.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the category,
Would have helped.
Jesus, I like him very much.
Jesus. I like him very
But
much.
you beat Craig 4-3 in
Tell
a
me
very
Jesus Christ
exciting...
can't hit a curveball.
Give me that
very
Jesus
exciting
and Mary
game.
Chain, Paulie. That is... Give me some Jesus and Mary Chain, please.
That was one that Craig tripped up on, and he didn't know the Carrie Underwood song. He got the other 3 correct.
Shout out to my missus for being a big Carrie Underwood fan. And
I like that song. I do. Do you not like Carrie Underwood? I mean, I know you're not a country fan, but
you always say that.
Carrie
I am a
Underwood.
country fan. You always say
that kind of country, the
Right.
pop country,
Right.
is not your jam.
No.
She's got an incredible voice.
She
I will
is
give her that.
very
She can-
talented.
She's very
It's not
talented.
my type of music,
She can
but
sing.
she can sing.
I like what's the one where she gets back at her ex and like wrecks his car? I like that song too.
It's about murdering him, isn't it? Maybe or is that's the Dixie Chicks?
Before he
Dug
cheats?
my
Before he
into
cheats,
the
yeah.
side. Yeah, before he cheats. I like that one too.
Yeah, that's a good one.
All right, thank you for playing today, Craig. But Woods is back
Feels
in
good.
the win column today on Take on Woods.
It feels good.
All right, we got Don't Do This coming up next. One of the real, I don't know if you want to call it great or worst flubs of all time.
I mean, it's a bad flub. What's the standard? Ben and Woods.
One rule.
One rule. One name.
I mean, he didn't do it on purpose, obviously.
as far as you know,
but
one name to avoid. Why was this man on his mind? It's unbelievable.
That'll be coming up next on Ben and Woods.
You had one job. Don't mention here's your handbook to call baseball games. Don't mention this guy's name ever in a broadcast. Deal? Sounds good to me. I think I could do it.
Speaking of Woods country music fan, country music superstar Sam Hunt taking over Resorts World Theater for a limited 2-night engagement, April 21st and 22nd. Tickets are on sale now at access.com. That's AXS.com and RWLasVegas.com. But if you listen to 97.3 The Fan on the Odyssey app, you can win a pair of tickets and a 2-night stay at Resorts World Las Vegas. Every hour you listen through March 19th equals 1 entry in the contest. Back with Don't Do This after a check of that nasty, nasty traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
Don't do this.
It's time for Don't Do This.
What were you thinking?
3 stories from the world of sports that make us all shake our heads.
Why? How many times do I have to tell you?
I'm sorry, I fudged up, guys.
You idiot. You moron.
Dumbass.
The apple sometimes does fall from the tree.
Don't Do This
Do not tweet that.
with Ben and Woods
I like a Nickelback song or two.
on 97.3 The Fan.
Don't forget the Ben and Woods Open Golf Tournament coming up Thursday, April 6th at Rancho Bernardo Inn. Those in the know call it RBI
Yes.
or Steak. No?
The Steak Inn.
Wait, you never heard of that?
Never heard of that?
Idiot.
Moron.
It's a ribeye. It's a ribeye. It's a steak. We're gonna be playing at the Steak on April the 6th. Tickets, slots in the tournament go on sale Wednesday, March 22nd. That's a week from today. Thank you to our sponsors, Coastal Fire and Integration Systems and Cobra Golf, for helping make this year's tournament possible. We got Craig Calcaterra at the bottom of the hour, but right now, Woods, you'll lead us off in Don't Do This.
Yeah, so there's just kind of a name that you never really want to invoke. It's happened to many, many celebrities over the years. Now, this is a different one. This is more of a flub. Still, though, very, very worthy of a Don't Do This. Last night, a college baseball game, Ole Miss against, I'm assuming, Jacksonville State. We're duking it out. It says Jax State, so
Not Jackson State. There is a Jackson State.
I don't
as
think
well.
it's Jaxon.
No, that's probably Jacksonville State.
Jacksonville
Yes.
State. So they're playing, and this happens.
Designated Hitler.
What?
Excuse me. Designated hitter looking to get aboard. Sorry about that, folks.
The designated.
Sorry about
the
that.
designated what?
Designated Hitler.
You do not want to be designated that. You really don't.
No.
Designated Hitler. Excuse me. Designated hitter
Yes.
looking to get aboard. Sorry about that, folks.
Pardon me.
Maybe he goes on a local show every morning and he's given an incorporator word and he couldn't
That's
imagine how to incorporate that one
mean,
in. So-
Gentlemen, what is the one rule for Don't Do This?
You just don't say it.
If anybody's joining us for the first time.
You don't say it. Here's a tweet on the responses where, I mean, it's like, I want to say the responses were better than you can imagine, but
Or
also worse,
yeah.
right? And there's a music sign that says, because it's 1, 2, 3 Reichs, you're out. Oh my God. So, oh no. Sometimes he pitches in relief. He really gurbles up those innings.
Oh, God.
Good to see the coach give him a day off. Typically, he plays right field. It's awful. But clever in the comments for sure. But yeah,
no Hitler puns allowed.
No
It's
Hitler
just-
puns allowed.
Because I'm going to laugh at them and then I'll get in
be
trouble.
the one that gets in trouble.
Yeah,
I didn't
so,
write it.
No.
That said, he doesn't get in trouble, right? For that.
No, it's just
like
a slip of the
flub.
tongue.
Yeah. Yeah. You're designated Hitler.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard broadcasters say like you were trying to say like a 7-hit performance, but you drop some words and you say a bad word on the air. You don't get necessarily in trouble for a flub, even though you're not supposed to say it.
I said a bad word on the air one time.
You did.
I didn't get in trouble.
You did. You'll be okay. All right. This guy should be. I don't know if he's in trouble. He probably is going to be in a lot of trouble. He's a college hockey player from Mercyhurst University.
Dude, this sucks.
His name is Carson Briere, and he's also notable because he's the son of Philadelphia Flyers general manager Daniel Briere. There's some video from a bar. He's there with friends. The entrance to the bar is at the top of a staircase, and you see the security video of him and his friends are standing at the top of the staircase, and there's just a wheelchair there. One of the friends just kind of sits down in it like as a lark, and then he gets up, and Carson Briere then just like pushes it down the staircase to see it crashing down all the way. Now, you saw something like fly off of it, breaking off the wheelchair. No one was in it. He didn't push, a physically disabled person down the stairs, but this chair belonged to a woman who had been carried downstairs to use the bathroom.
Makes my heart hurt.
And was, going to be carried back up so she could go into a chair. And she obviously came out of the bathroom and someone had crashed her chair. Someone was going to have to see if it was still usable and carry it back up the staircase for her and everything. I mean, it's just absolutely the rudest possible thing you can imagine, and it's all caught on video. It's
what
considering
sack of
it's just horrifying to watch, even though no one is obviously in the chair. Mercyhurst released a statement about the incident. And they said late this afternoon, Mercyhurst University became aware of a disturbing video which one of our student athletes is seen pushing an unoccupied wheelchair down a flight of stairs at a local establishment. Our Office of Student Conduct and Department of Police and Safety are investigating.
Trash.
Riera previously was on the Arizona State hockey team as a redshirt freshman, was dismissed for a violation of team rules. He says, I just wasn't taking hockey seriously. It wasn't anything bad. I just wasn't committed to hockey. I was more committed to having fun at school.
Partying too much.
Too much partying. That's probably the best way to put it.
Can't blame him for that. That's happened many times. You don't do that, man. That's not something you do.
Just the fact you even have that impulse to be anything but respectful for someone's wheelchair that's sitting there is very, very troubling.
That poor girl had to be carried
down
those stairs. Maybe the restroom.
Do you not think like,
what a sack of S.
The whole world is not what's right there in front of you. Oh, there's a wheelchair here. It must be completely abandoned in here for my amusement. There's no possible way that someone could actually be here in a wheelchair, right? So let's have fun and crash this thing down the stairs. How self-involved and oblivious must you be to pull off a stunt like that?
I've been a huge a-hole in my life. That would never even enter my mind to do. Never, ever, ever. Sad. And really great look. I will do some do this. Pretty cool story.
DD mega doo-doo.
Paulie, play the audio of the Mexico-Great Britain game last night, please.
Us to the plate. There's a drive down the line. Gonna score a run. Trejo will score. Mexico 2-1.
Big, huge knock for one. Irving Alexis Wilson
drove in an Aztec. Alan Trejo scoring.
He sure did. He was supposed to be for Team Mexico. Was supposed to be the bullpen catcher until Alejandro Kirk stepped down because he was injured or for whatever reason he stepped down. And they said, crap. All right, we'll just make the bullpen catcher, our
second kind of catcher. Like those last college basketball games when the student manager gets in for a few minutes.
No, because this was like the guy didn't like lob him one, like it was a very close game. It was a 1-1 game. So it was like, I like those moments too. Yeah. Those moments always make me tear up. But this one, really, really special. Again, hey man, you're gonna be the bullpen catcher and whatever. And then Kurt goes down, and you're like, oh, you're actually our backup. Oh, you've gotten the biggest hit of the tournament for Mexico so far. Turned out to be the game winner. Pretty cool story.
You often hear coaches say, hey, I'll do whatever I can to help the ball club. If they need me to go in there, I will do it. Well, they needed him to go in there. He went in, and he drove in the go-ahead run for Team Mexico.
For sure.
In a 2-1 win. That's cool, and that's don't and do this for a Wednesday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
I know Craig Calcaterra has been following the World Baseball Classic. Also getting his readers from his newsletter ready for the Major League Baseball season. It's been too long. We will catch up with one of our favorite baseball writers coming up next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. This hour 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by your local San Diego County UPS store. Your local San Diego County, the UPS store locations are hosting a shred event from March 20th through March 25th. 50% off shredding services. Visit the upsstore.com for the location nearest you. See store for details. Now, as a sports talk radio host and TV anchor my whole life, I haven't needed a lot of shredding services, but our next guest probably has.
Oh, guaranteed.
Needed
Back in the
shredding
day?
services
Yeah.
back in the day as a former
Attorney.
lawyer
Yeah.
turned baseball writer with a newsletter. We will chat with Craig Calcaterra after a check of our miserable traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the premier Buick GMC of Carlsbad Traffic Center, part of the Premier Auto Family, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Viejas Casino and Resort. Well, guys, incidents and accidents on every one of our freeways this morning. So sorry, I can't mention them all. In fact, just a couple here. Northbound side of the 805 before Telegraph Canyon Road, there's a collision blocking lanes. Then up ahead, another crash near Balboa. Westbound side of the 52, right around Convoy, collision involving a couple vehicles blocking the slow lane. Keep in mind, eastbound 78 traffic is being diverted off at El Camino Real, all due to flooding. So give yourself extra time if that is your route. Viejas Casino and Resort is home to the best players club in My Viejas. Start earning points towards incredible rewards like free gifts, concert tickets, hotel stays, dining discounts, and more. It's time to ditch the other guys and join the best. My Viejas Players Club, Viejas Casino and Resort. And Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And we go out to our premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline, where Craig Calcaterra joins us. Now, did you have your own shredder, or did like a paralegal do all your shredding, Greg?
Well, you've heard that thing that they say that if you're explaining, you're losing. If you're shredding, you've already lost. the key is to never create the document in the first place.
Don't put anything on paper that can be traced back to you. Don't email anything. Don't text anything. When I do picture like corporate attorneys, that's what I picture. Need you guys in Saturday night. We're going to meet here about midnight and just smoking cigarettes, drinking bourbon, shredding boxes of documents.
Well, it's like those videos, the surveillance videos of like the New York Mafia in the 80s, right? It's like they're all wearing sweatsuits, standing outside and just talking and walking. That's kind of how we do it.
The hands over the mouth. Like, if I tell you to go, it's so good. How's everything been, my friend?
Oh, not too bad. Can't complain. Ready for the season to get going and easing into it nicely with some games that kind of count with the World Baseball Classic. Even though I'm not a huge World Baseball Classic guy, it's kind of fun to see games where people care.
And they care a lot.
Yeah,
we
were just talking about it. Now, are you not a World Baseball Classic guy? As Wood said, that the passion in this country is just a little bit different. It's not the same as it is maybe in Mexico. The country pride for their national teams in baseball. We don't really do that as much in this country, or is it a different reason for you, Craig?
I mean, I think that's kind of right. I went to a Mexico-United States WBC game in 2013 in Phoenix. And of course, I put a Mexico hat on and rooted for Mexico the whole time because that's the kind of guy I am. And it was a lot of fun. Look, if I can't get people hating me, what am I going to do?
Fair enough. I know the feeling.
It's a lot of fun. The atmosphere is great. It's sort of like, for me, it's like hockey in that I love going to a hockey game.
Yeah.
It's really exciting when you're there in person, but I can't watch it on TV. And ultimately with baseball, for me, I just, I have friends in Great Britain, and they were so excited that Great Britain won the first ever WBC game in its history the other night. And I'm like, it's one game. I mean, it's like the Pirates swept the Dodgers last year in a series. So that's not how baseball works. So it's hard for me to get my no individual game matters brain on the idea of a tournament that has like actual knockout games and stuff.
Talking to our pal Craig Calcaterra here on Ben and Woods this morning. I'll tell you one thing it has done for me, other than really disrupt my sleep schedule, for sure, Craig. What it's done, I was playing, not even devil's advocate. When I saw the very first spring training game, I was there live. It took about 45 minutes to get 9 innings in, and it just felt weird and like it was on Adderall and very speedy and rushed. And then I watched one on television, and I felt the same thing. I found myself staring at the pitch clock the whole time. Just, is he going to get it off? Is he going to get it off? Oh, he got it off. And I didn't want that, and I didn't like it. And Ben really likes it, and Paulie likes it. I was just kind of like, we'll see. All right. After watching some of these WBC games, I have done a complete and total 180. I'm ready for 2 hour and 15-minute games. Give me all of them. Give me every single 2:15.
They drag. That's the thing. I mean, and it doesn't even take it took a week and a half of spring training games with the clock.
Yes.
It's put me back into. I'm old, right? So I remember watching games in the '80s and stuff, and it's a return to that. And it didn't take that long to get my brain back in the idea of pitcher catches it, blah, blah, blah. You go back and forth pretty quick. And the WBC is like watching Pedro Baez constantly.
It is like a one long loop of Pedro Baez taking 2.5 minutes.
Woods already wants to add a shot clock to golf. I mean, he's ready to put it in every sport. Yeah. Let's keep things moving.
I'm ready to speed up the NFL. 15 seconds. That's what you get from now on. Let's change it all, man.
Everybody's injured and dead, but it's okay. We're moving.
It's fine. Do you put any credence in this? I saw a guy tweet me the other day, and I've been thinking about it, and I don't really know how to feel. He basically said who I'm worried about the most is the pitchers. They're not going to have enough time between pitches to recover. And I said, man, I don't. You could be right. You could be wrong. I have no idea. It's probably individually dependent, right? There are guys that work fast in the big leagues. There are guys that work slow. I don't know that they work slow because they need the extra 10 seconds of recovery on their arm.
And we don't know, is that a bug or is that the feature?
Is that the feature?
Hey,
exactly.
Let's tire these pitchers out to give hitters a better chance.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to feel about it.
I think it's less about tiring them out than it is about what we've seen the velocity go up so high in the last 10, 15 years. And there are a lot of mechanical reasons for that and conditioning reasons for that. But another reason for that is these guys are taking forever between pitches to gear up for max effort.
Yes.
And that's how you can get from 95 to 98 or something like that. And if you have the clock and the guys are well coached and smart, they will not try to max effort so quickly, right? So you'll probably see a downtick in velocity that will prevent injuries, but will also maybe make the game a little bit more fair because pitchers have really had an advantage over the last several years. So the ones that get hurt because of the pitch clock are probably the bullheaded ones that are like, I can still throw at 150%, but I'm going to do it a lot faster. That's going to be a really bad thing.
Craig Calcaterra is with us. And Craig, I don't know that we've talked to you since Peter Seidler became such a national story. Obviously, we're delighted here in San Diego. And if you don't know Craig, he's part of the Ohio resistance movement. I wanted to get your thoughts on Peter Seidler. And, I don't think you love billionaires for the most part based on what I've read, Craig, but I think you might like Peter if you had a chance to get to know him. We certainly do.
Well, what's that Onion thing of heartbreaking? The worst person in the world you know has made an excellent point. I'm not saying Peter Seidler is a bad person. I know nothing about the guy. But you're doing something right in the world if they're trying to change the rules to stop you. And the fact that Major League Baseball has put together some committee to investigate payroll structure and stuff, which is clearly a reaction to Peter Seidler spending like $800 million on players, that means you're doing something right. If there's a rule named after you, you're probably doing something right. So I love it. I like the fact that a team in the 27th largest media market in the country, last I checked, is putting lie to the notion that smaller market teams can't spend because they're spending, they're going to do fine. Peter Seidler is not going to be, living in a 1-bedroom apartment somewhere because of his spending habits on the Padres. And the fans are excited. The team is going to be really, really good for a really long period of time. I'm absolutely loving what he's doing with this team.
Yeah, as are we. You're gonna have to see how it plays out. Certainly on paper, should be a juggernaut. I mean, things happen. It's a weird game. You see teams like you just said.
Certainly not perfect.
Yeah, no, I mean, not perfect at all. I mean, and there are no.
It's one of those
teams.
deals. It's going to be a stars and scrubs kind of team, which is actually a great way to build a winner. I mean, I think you've seen a lot of teams that do that. At the top, it's an absolutely loaded roster. There are some problems. Obviously, the bullpen is not as good as it could be. Once you get past the superstars, you've got a few holes. You're going to have some guys playing out of position for a little while because not everybody can play shortstop. And that's just the thing that you do to get the best players on your team. And I'm going to love watching how they handle it and how they go forward.
Yeah, we are too. It's going to probably age us several years, but that's also fine. Last one for me, and you guys that are listening right now, Craig does a newsletter called Cup of Coffee. Go subscribe to it. It's awesome. I steal a lot of material from it for our show. It just kind of sums up everything that's going on in the world of sports. One thing you did write about that just killed me, and I saw this quote yesterday. I actually meant to bring it up today. Major League Pickleball founder Steve Kuhn said this on a podcast. Quote, this is a quote, a real quote from Pickleball founder. Pickleball will easily be a top 5 sport in the next 5 years in terms of viewership. We will challenge MLS, Major League Baseball, and the NHL. I think we'll be in that category soon. Craig, your comments.
It's like Highlight. It's like that Mad Men episode where Highlight was the sport of the future, right? It's everybody's got a something of the future. I'm waiting for Dipping Dots to stop being the ice cream of the future and start being the ice cream of now. That's never happened.
It's
I don't think it's going to happen
years, man. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to happen with pickleball either. People like to play pickleball.
not
They don't
watch.
want to watch other people play. And especially given that the people playing pickleball are like people like me, right? They're almost 50. They're not in the best of shape, but they're having fun anyway. I don't want to see that. I don't want to look in the mirror for crying out loud. I certainly don't want to see myself playing pickleball or anybody else like me doing it.
You want to see elite athletes.
Yeah,
That's what
like
you wanna
LeBron
see.
James and these other
Yes,
athletes
they're
are
way into
investing big time in it, and I don't get it. I'm like you, Craig. I can't picture wanting to watch pickleball play. Yes, absolutely. Looks fun. Watch other people
I've got
play
a big like anti-business, anti-capitalist rant that I could seriously go on about it, about how everybody just wants to package up products and sell them. But I'll save your readers that. No one wants to hear
So
me.
in my house, we have a pickleball court in our complex. It's right below our house. I can watch from my window.
Yeah, you can see
You
it
know how many
every day.
times I have sat at my window and watched people play pickleball? Zero. None.
I went to like one of those seniors. I went to one of those seniors tennis things several years ago, and it was like John McEnroe, Vitas Gerulaitis before he died, and like Andre Agassi right when he was like tailing off. And that was hard to watch even then. And they were like the best players in the world at one point. I don't want to watch my neighbor play pickleball.
It's the weirdest thing. I mean, it's just the weirdest thing. And when I saw that quote yesterday, I went, oh no. Oh, somebody is drinking the cup of delusion a little bit too much. He's been dipping into the delusion sauce.
That's the thing you say in the meeting with the bankers who don't know anything. You don't say that publicly with your outside voice.
Correct. Yeah, you're not going to take on Major League Baseball. I mean, there's just no way. I've seen the product. I've seen actually the professional product. It's not great.
Don't get high on your own supply, kid.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Thank you, my
Craig,
friend.
great catching up with you. Enjoy the baseball season. We'll give you a call again soon. And again, everyone sign up for the Cup of Coffee newsletter for more amazing tidbits like that. Thank you, Craig.
Thanks, guys.
There he is, Craig Calcaterra, on our Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline. Save money the right way with Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad. Visit them today in the Carlsbad Auto Mall. Chevrolet, find new roads. Yeah, I guess, people say, well, why do you watch golf? Golf is more of a participatory sport.
Yeah.
But I am amazed by, guys hitting the ball 350 yards off the tee and the amazing short game and touch. Maybe there's some of that in pickleball, but it feels very much like they're all kind of the same shots. It's just that little tiny court, and that was a great backhand. Oh, he dove for that one. But there's not enough variety in that sport. Like baseball, to me, you say, oh, it's the same. I mean, to me, there's endless variety in baseball.
There's so many things going on.
There's a world of possibilities on that big old field with space and walls and, home runs and people running around. Pickleball seems too confined.
Yeah, it's
to be
a bit small.
A sport that you really want to watch. Tennis, I think, suffers a little bit from that same problem. You have better athletes in tennis that I think make it a little more watchable with just some amazing, athleticism running around. You don't even have people really running around in pickleball much. I mean, they get a little quickness. They got to take a couple of quick steps to grab it. But, I mean, do people watch ping pong?
I think
it's essentially a bigger ping pong.
Yeah, I think people do, but not.
But
here.
That's a novelty.
Not as much as they watch MLS, baseball, and the NHL. That's one thing. I think that's a really dumb statement that he says. The thing, you mentioned that about golf too, is because there are so many amateur players that play golf. I watch it to learn. I try to learn from it. I try to see how they get out of the
maybe
sand.
Some pickleball players do the same. I don't know, but
is there anything better though when you're watching golf and you see one of the world's greatest players chunk a chip? Is there anything better? You're like, oh my God, he's just like me. When you see a guy get a 10 on a hole, you're like, I can get a 10 on a hole. There's something to that when you're
or
watching.
they can run off a streak of 6 straight birdies,
Right,
or
which
5, like Scotty Scheffler did at the Players Championship, and you're in awe.
It's remarkable.
Can you do something like that in pickleball?
I don't know.
Oh wow, he hit the line. Great.
Again,
it's just such a small.
It's just small
court, and again, I don't know that much about it. I don't play it yet. I know people who love playing it.
Again, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. I don't want to watch people play bocce ball on TV. I don't really want to watch people play, yard game, cornhole. They show it. I'm not going to watch it. Cornhole, really?
I'd watch Ultimate Frisbee a little bit, maybe.
I don't even think I'd watch that.
Better than pickleball, though.
Maybe. They used to have
Frisbee golf.
They used to have this thing on ESPN that was a basketball court, but it was all trampolines. Now that was fun. That I used to watch. Like,
well, they have
jump ball. I think it was called
smash ball.
Slam
They have
ball.
slam ball on TV. Well, that's the one that just has you hit the ball off
the thing,
the trampoline in the middle, and
no, this court.
It's like handball, but one little tiny trampoline.
The court is made up of trampolines, and there's a
the
couple of dead
basketball.
spots, but you can run down. Your buddy can jump. He can get double bounced way up high. You feed him. It's pretty brilliant.
Is the basket way higher, or
it's
is
not
it
way? I don't think it's
a
way
little bit higher.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, it is.
I don't remember that sport.
Yeah, it's really cool. I can't remember what it's called though. Is it? It's not slam ball. It's
slam ball is the one where you bounce
down
like
off the
handball
thing.
down
Yeah,
off
handball
the little
down.
trampoline.
Yep.
All right. It is almost 8:00, which means it is nearly time to update our tournament of drops. The first round now complete. We'll get into the second round matchups of our favorite funny sound bites for the year coming up next with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we are halfway home on a Wednesday. It's March 15th. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Rindo. He's the executive producer. And Benjamin Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us as well. Benjamin.
Good morning.
Take it away.
You can join 97.3 The Fan on Thursday, March 30th at Happy Does. We'll be back. 340 Fifth Avenue for opening day, presented by Coors Light, made to chill. Ben and Woods, Coach John Quintero, are all broadcasting live from 6 a.m. to noon, leading up to the opener that day. We were out there last year. We had a great setup right on Fifth Avenue, the heart of downtown, essentially. The busy urban cityscape right in front of us, and you could just walk right by on the sidewalk. People would walk by and honk or drive by and honk at us as they went by. But why don't you come by for a couple of hours this time and join us at Happy Does on opening day?
It was it cold? I can't remember. Were we chilly?
I don't think it was bad.
I wore a light sweatshirt.
Yeah, I think
light
morning.
sweatshirt.
Better
Okay.
than today.
Yeah.
Let's just say that. Let's hope opening day doesn't look like this.
It's one of my
with all the
biggest
rain that we've
fears.
had,
Yes.
it feels like it's a possibility this year.
Gonna have some rainouts.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Can you imagine? We'll survive.
Double headers and weird things.
Very
the Padres
strange.
season. Eventually San Diego weather will win out.
Allegedly, yeah.
I would think. But I just got the email from Megan Perry, our forecaster. Yes, the rain is going to be going away today, later, but another strong storm next week, Tuesday into Wednesday.
Fantastic.
Another storm.
Stronger storm.
Week. My child is never going to play one. We're going to sign up for T-ball, and he's never going to play one game. The season's going to end, and he'll never have played a game. Holy cow.
Looking
Poor
forward
kids.
to the Southern California rebate checks for the cost of living for here that we will all be
DM
getting
me
back this
and
year.
I will send you my address, and I want a rebate. I want a rebate. Pay through the nose to live in paradise.
For the weather, mostly.
Sucks. It sucks. Be careful on the roads, please.
All right. It is 8 o'clock. That means it is time for our tournament of drops to continue. We are now through the entire first round after the tier ones have voted on the matchups of our favorite funny sound bites over the past year. And we'll get to the results first of yesterday's voting. And then Paulie will give us the matchups for round number 2. And you can vote on our Twitter page at Ben and Woods. So let's start with Paulie. We're in the Woods region, right?
Yeah, the Woods region. We had the 1 versus the 8 seed. The 8 seed was Dave Roberts, guaranteeing a World Series victory.
Not bad for. I think it was the best performing 8 seed. Got nearly a third of the vote at 33.2%. But
it fell to the number 1 seed in the Woods region.
Can I get a oh yeah?
Proud of you,
two
boys.
members of the Woods family included in that drop. Bo and Taylor, and a winner at 66.8% of the votes cast.
Good job, boys.
Hell yeah.
Proud of you.
The 4-5 matchup saw the 5, I guess if it's an upset, right? 5 over a 4.
Small upset.
Jorge Alfaro took down Woodsang So Sports.
Let's go San Diego.
Not that close. 79.4% of the votes going for Jorge over Sports.
Sports.
So they'll move on to a 1-5 matchup.
So, sports.
Did you catch a game last night?
Let's see. Our next matchup was a 3 versus a 6. The 6 was one of our callers, Bob Mellon.
Yeah, Bob Mellon.
That fell to the 3 seed, old Jira.
There it was. Glory hole.
Another 2-1 winner at 69.2% for Glory Hole.
Perfect set.
And then wrapping up the Woods region, the 7 seed Island Boys, Padres 1. They fell to the 2 seed, one of the many carving guy drops in the field.
Is it still hot out there?
I think this was the closest matchup of the entire first round. Is it still hot out? Only with 55.5% of the vote.
Okay, that's close.
To 44.5%.
All right, we'll move on to the Adam region now. We had a 1 versus 8 matchup. The 8, Boomer Esiason and his raspy voice. I believe you got the results, Ben. They got bodied.
Biggest blowout of the first round. Conversely, Boomer and his raspy Rams, 3.8% of the vote.
Rams.
It was all Adam in this one.
Is it extra sweet because it's against the Dodgers?
that is
96.2.
That's going to be really tough to beat.
I know it's matchup dependent, but is that a sign that this may be the tournament favorite now?
Oh yeah.
The overall
Vegas, everybody's got their money on Adam.
seed here now.
I mean, Carving Guy's got a lot in there. Actually,
Is it extra sweet because this is against the Dodgers?
If I gave you every Carving Guy drop, or was it extra sweet because it was against the Dodgers? Which one would you take? All the Carving Guy drops, and if any one of them wins, you win. Or you get the one choice. You get Adam. Is it extra sweet because it was against the Dodgers?
I'm going to take Adam.
You're taking Adam.
I think Adam's
That's
got
big
this
of a
one.
favorite, huh?
Yeah.
Because there's still like 5 Carving Guy drops alive, I think.
Somebody tweeted this yesterday. There's too many Carving Guy drops. I said,
There's not enough.
Stop listening to our show.
Vote them
then.
out.
I mean,
then.
if you don't,
it's your prerogative. It's your vote.
Look, if
Quite
you don't,
frankly, I'm upset we didn't do a tournament of Carving Guy drops.
yeah, me and you both. Listen, if Carving Guy's not for you, then we're not for you. I will die on that hill. If it doesn't tickle your funny bone, then I don't want to know you. I'm good. We'll be fine. We'll be fine without each other.
So Adam is moving on to the Sweet 16, the 1 seed there. We had another 5 over a 4. Hacksaw, finally a chance for some good sports talk radio. That fell to this clip from Jesse Agler of the same vein as Adam's drop there.
The series is over.
I think a lot of people are putting sentimental value on those drops from that series, and I totally get it.
72.1% for Jesse. I've heard reports that Hacksaw is devastated. He was convinced he was going to win this whole thing, but he goes out in the first round.
He likes polls. He likes to do.
He does like his polls.
Big poll guy.
We had a 3 over a 6 seed in the Adam region. The 6 seed, Ben complaining about not getting a free meatball.
I thought this might be an upset.
That fell to the Carving Guy.
All right.
Yeah.
There's no way you're beating that.
60.4%. I got almost 40% of the vote there, but did not win.
And the 7 seed, AJ Preller, good morning, guys. That fell to the 2 seed in the Adam region. I think we might have given this one a little bit of a bump, playing the full context and laughing yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay, how are you?
You can just play the whole thing again if you want to.
I don't ever mind it.
Because I will. It makes me happy when I hear it.
It's just the greatest sports talk radio interaction, perhaps of all time.
Yep.
Joe in San Diego, thanks for hanging in there, my friend. Welcome to 97.3 The Fan. How are you today?
Okay, how are you?
Yep. I'm doing well. You want to come out and give blood today, Joe?
Okay, how are you?
Doing great.
Hello. Okay, how are you?
I'm doing very well. What do you got for me today?
Coach is just
Bro, hang up. Hang up.
Unfailingly polite.
Hang up on him. Okay, how are you? I'm good.
Okay, how are you?
I'm fine. Okay, how are you? All right, hang up. I mean, that quick.
Okay, how are
I'm
you?
done, dude. We're good.
Okay, how are you?
Holy crap. So we will get to
Okay, how are you? Okay, how are you?
Got it.
Okay, how are you?
So we'll get to those Sweet 16 matchups
So
tomorrow.
it's on to the round of 16 already, our second round, but the Sweet 16, first half of the Sweet 16, so just
we're gonna
4
do
matchups today.
4 matchups today. We start in the Ben region, the number 1 overall seed. Of course, moving on to the Sweet 16.
Have you tried the lasagna? It's my favorite.
Banger.
And Carving Guy is going up against the 4 seed. It was all chalk in the Ben region. He's going up against the 4 seed, Juan Soto.
Good morning, everybody.
Now they start getting tough.
That's tough.
Now these are all winners now.
I love that one.
These are all winners, and it gets very tough. That is an extremely good matchup in the Sweet 16.
Our 2 versus 3 matchup. We've got a Ben versus Carving Guy face off here. Ben, the 3 seed.
It's flapping. There it is. Me trying to roll my R's.
Yes,
Unsuccessfully.
Allegedly, that's what you were trying to do.
And that is going
It's
up against the
flapping.
2 seed Carving Guy.
Do you like hot fudge sundaes?
God, that's a tough one.
Will we have a lasagna versus hot fudge sundaes regional final, or will there be an upset? Only the tier 1s can tell us with their votes.
It's up to you guys.
All right,
Move
bottom
on to
half.
the Paul region, the number 1 seed there, another Carving Guy,
Did you catch a game last night?
and that's going up against the 5 seed Blake Snell.
Hold on. Remix.
I love the
Yeah, it's great.
yeah.
Hold on. Remix.
I think these are going to be closer than I think they will.
It's our new
be.
flub
Does that make
sounder.
sense? Yeah.
And then we've got the 6 versus a 2. So the 6 seed moving on. That is the lowest remaining seed in the field.
Okay.
Manny Machado.
Look at Nelly Cruz.
Look at Nelly Cruz. Every time they show him on TV.
Every
in the
time I see him,
WBC.
look at Nelly Cruz.
I think it helped that the Padres went and signed Nelly Cruz. Now that was
yeah.
that was like almost a year ago.
Yeah.
It's the spring
Over
training.
a year ago, yeah.
Well, spring training was so late last
true.
year, so
That's true.
but it was like a year ago.
It was
and then-
after the tournament of drops.
Yeah, it was after the tournament of drops. So in this year's field,
Nelly Cruz.
but well before Nelly Cruz was actually a member of the Padres.
I just told you that's the lowest remaining, or you said highest remaining seed?
Lowest
remaining.
I know it's a
seed.
higher number, but it's a lower seed. It's
Right.
it's counterintuitive.
But I don't know. I think the Cinderella run may end in the Sweet 16 because the 2 seed that Manny and Look at Nelly Cruz is going up against is our very own Ben Higgins.
Where are these cream pies coming
I
from?
mean, that's got to be final.
I'm going up against Manny.
Yeah, that's
Ooh.
easy. That's an easy.
Very few things that I could prevail against Manny Machado head to head,
cream pies.
but this might be one area where I have an advantage. We'll
I
see.
think so.
We will see. All right, you want to vote for our first 4 Sweet 16 matchups? Go to our Twitter page. It'll be up for the rest of the day. You can click. You can see the results as you go. You can go back and see the results later if you want to get an update before the 8 o'clock segment. But that is accessible to you as of now, I believe, if you'd like to go and
Hands
start
up.
voting.
Up and going.
Up and going. So,
Beautiful.
Yep.
Get your votes in. Cast them. I'm going to cast mine right now.
Waiting on a decision from Aaron Rodgers. One Aaron Rodgers.
Still doing this, huh?
Well, I mean, it would be really, really funny at this point.
Is there a deadline, by the way?
No.
No. Perfect.
Aaron Rodgers doesn't work with deadline.
Cool.
The Jets went out, and so Aaron Rodgers has given the Jets like a list of players he would like them to sign.
And they're getting every
And they're
single
going. So
one of
they
them.
got Alan Lazard yesterday, and they're going after some of the others on the Aaron Rodgers list, like OBJ, Randall Cobb, Mercedes Lewis. But wouldn't it be the funny? No one's talked about this. Wouldn't it be the funniest and most Aaron Rodgers thing in the world to get the Jets to they sign all of these players, and then Aaron Rodgers just goes, "Nah, I'm good. I'm retiring, or I'm staying in Green Bay."
Or you just gave him a list of scrubs, and he's like, he's like, no, I need this guy. I know
we just
he
tied
can't
up our
catch a
entire
cold.
salary
I know
for
Randall
you.
Cobb is a little long in the tooth, but I'm telling you, you get him, we'll have. And then he goes, after
He signs with the Patriots.
I talked to my shaman, and we're gonna retire this year. I'm now co-hosting Pat McAfee every day,
And apparently
so
he's going on with
Yes.
Pat McAfee today, so everyone thinks, oh, we'll get a decision.
Yeah.
but
we're not going to, right?
I don't know that we're going to. I mean, it's Aaron Rodgers. He loves letting us twist and wait on him.
Kind of fun.
So
I
maybe
see-
today, maybe not today. But I mean, he's got a list. He's given a list to the Jets.
Right. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. If you're going for a job and you submit, hey, what's it going to take to get you here? And you say, you know what? Let me get a list together. This is what you're going to need to sign me. And they say, great. And they start checking boxes off the list. That's a good sign. These are all what we call in the business. Those are buying signs, Ben. They're ready to buy. All right. So that's a good sign. That he will, in fact, be a New York Jet. Now, again, I don't think that news is going to come today. I could be wrong. Aaron Rodgers has surprised all of us many, many times. But, we'll see how that shakes out.
There really aren't that many other landing spots for him to go as well. I saw the Patriots rumor. He could maybe there or staying in Green Bay. But a lot of the other teams have pretty much figured out their quarterback situations. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo to the Raiders.
All right. Well, what if Aaron
Tell me
Rodgers
any
said
of those teams
any of those
wouldn't.
teams?
That's true. Andy Dalton signed with the Panthers, so they're good now.
Yeah, right. Sorry,
Totally
Aaron.
good.
We got Andy
They
Dalton.
got the Red Rockets, so they're good.
Move yesterday that might be of note locally.
Are you going to give? I was going to do this,
I'm
but
gonna
I'm
do
so
it.
impressed if you're going to give this news.
Rashad
Yes!
Penny
Good
is
job,
heading to
Woods.
the very, very talented Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles have signed. Would they sign? Signed? Yeah.
They are going to sign
Going
him.
to sign
Yes.
Rashad Penny. So he is going to be, I think it's going to do wonders for him and his career.
Well,
They have a phenomenal line. And if he's healthy, man, he can be really, really dangerous.
he was fantastic when he was
when
healthy.
he was on
He's
the field.
been
He was really good.
He's been with already 5 seasons. Where has the
crazy.
time gone with the Seattle
That's right.
Seahawks? I don't think any of them he was healthy for all 16 games. The best stretch, the last 5 games of the 2021 season, he ran for 671 yards and led the NFL over those last 5 games. When he has been healthy, he looks like a star running back, but just every single season he's gotten hurt. If the Eagles can keep him on the field, he can be a difference maker for a team that obviously nearly won a Super Bowl last year. So I'm excited about that move, but
it's one of the most surprising draft picks I can ever remember in my life. He was a beast at San Diego State, but he was like 3rd, maybe even 4th round projected, like for the entire
and the reason why was a lot of teams thought he's a little undersized and might be injury prone in the NFL. I mean, they were actually right about Rashad Penny, unfortunately.
Our beloved Mina Kimes tweeted yesterday, a healthy Rashad Penny behind that Eagles O-line is a cheat code. So, a good move.
Big qualifier, though, that first word.
For sure.
Healthy.
But, I mean, look, Rashad Penny's not a guy that's going to crush your team
but
salary
I'll be cheering
cap
for him.
wise and, all of that. It's a really good pickup for them.
All right, we'll come back. Our Tier 1 tour continues. I think it's so fun that the Padres are playing every team.
I do, too.
The Tampa Bay Rays. They will be playing the Rays this season. So we'll continue our Tier 1 tour and talk about a team we don't talk about a ton, the Tampa Bay Rays.
Going to have some fun this year, man, getting to see everybody. I really, really like that.
Also going to give away some Darius Rucker tickets as well. That is coming up next. First, too many crashes to even count. Kelly Danick with another check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan. Each of us can make a difference in someone else's life just by being kind and welcoming. Odyssey has partnered with Special Olympics on the Agents of Inclusion podcast each week. Meet the athletes and community members who are making a difference. New episodes every Wednesday. Follow Agents of Inclusion in the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcast. Firing up the bus as we continue our Tier 1 tour of Padres opponents one by one throughout the season. And there it is. Since they're playing them all, we are at interleague play still, and the Tampa Bay Rays are next up on our tour. A team that continues to defy really the logic of baseball, that continues to put together a playoff caliber club with a payroll that always remains in the bottom fifth of baseball, sometimes the bottom 10% of all of baseball. Yet they continue to put a really good product on the field for almost no fans that don't show up for their games down in Tampa St. Pete.
Yep. The projections got them right around where they were last year, Ben. Now, they made the playoffs last year with 88 wins. 86 wins, their lowest total since 2017. They are, I feel like...
That's remarkable consistency.
Absolutely. And I feel like with them, though, every single year, don't we always keep waiting for the bubble to burst? Say, well, they can't get it done this year. I mean, there's no way. You look at what they're spending, and man, they draft really well. They develop really well. They're kind of like that team too, Ben, the Patriots model. They're not afraid to let a fan favorite go. G-Man Choi, one of their just most beloved.
They almost look forward to it.
Yeah, it seems like they look forward to doing it. They traded G-Man Choi to the Pirates. They had said goodbye to Kevin Kiermaier, let David Peralta, who they got at the deadline, go. He went to the Dodgers. They are going to continue to operate with one of the lowest payrolls in Major League Baseball. But, where they're fun to watch is, they got players. There's no question they got players. They got Yandy Diaz.
Yeah, I like the top half of their lineup.
Yep. And of course, Randy Arozarena. You watch that guy play. He's
Wander Franco.
And Wander Franco's really good.
And Brandon Lau.
Yep.
Which is weird because everyone else pronounces it low.
But
he pronounces it Lau.
A couple of ex-Padres on the squad in Manny Margot.
He's been
pretty solid.
He hasn't been bad.
Yep.
He hasn't been great. He's had some flashes of doing well. Good depth piece, but
still got Mejia there too.
Bottom of the order. Christian Bethancourt is their catcher now. It doesn't seem quite as deep maybe as some of their teams.
Yeah, and the real bummer for them though was Tyler Glasnow getting hurt again. I believe it was a rib, something in his side, an oblique or something. So again, a kid that has battled his way back, was supposed to be healthy, ready to go, is now out again. I don't know the timetable for his return. I believe the first time I saw it, they said 6-8 weeks, but with an oblique, I don't know. It just can. And when he does come back, how can he stay healthy? They do have Shane McClanahan. They do have Luis Patino. They've got Zach Eflin.
Yeah, they signed him in the offseason.
And they've got a decent bullpen as well. Pete Fairbanks is a superstar stud. Jalen Beeks throws really, really hard. They've got good players. They've got big arms like they always do. But again, do they have enough offense to win? Yankees and Blue Jays are projected to finish above them in the division. They'll be playing for a wild card, but I feel like every year they go in and play for a wild card. So I don't know, man. I can't figure out if I think they're a playoff team or not. I just can't. And I think that's pretty standard with Rays and their fans every year. Like, are they a playoff team? Not going to surprise me if they get in because they know how to manage and they know how to play the game of baseball.
I think from a Padres perspective, we often like to point out the trades that don't work out. We were talking about the Mike Clevenger deal and some of the players you might want to have back. The Blake Snell trade has not come back to bite the Padres.
No.
Luis Patino has thrown in the big leagues, but has not emerged as the star the Rays were hoping he would. Health obviously part of that, but Francisco Mejia, Blake Hunt, Cole Wilcox, guys who haven't progressed yet out of their minor leagues.
I remember at the time being really bummed about Cole Wilcox. I don't know that I've heard his name since. And then I think he got hurt. I think he got hurt right out of the chute. But again, it just goes to show you, man. Yeah.
Remember how nervous everyone dealing with the Rays?
Some.
Oh no,
yeah.
How are the Rays gonna pull the wool over AJ Preller's eyes and steal good prospects and Blake Snell's not going to be great. Well, Snell has been pretty darn good with the Padres, and what they've gotten back has really not been much in that 4-for-1 deal that they pulled off a couple of years ago.
You do that trade every day. You absolutely do. And there's still people in this fan base that aren't sold on Blake Snell, and that's okay. That's absolutely okay.
And he may leave as a free agent after this year, but you've gotten value
absolutely
out of Blake Snell the last 2 seasons, and you should be getting a lot of value out of him this season as well.
It's healthy, ready to go. I'm praying for a really, really hot start for Blake, because I think that could really set the tone for this team.
And none of those guys have, and maybe someone still will, but what were you going to be able to wait for 4, 5, 6 years on Cole Wilcox or Luis Patino to finally figure it out while you're trying to win now? Blake Snell is much more valuable to the Padres than any of those guys would have been. So, I know you say you have to wait 3 or 4 years to evaluate a trade. I'm going to give that one an A.
Yeah.
For AJ Preller.
Absolutely.
On in retrospect, looking back now.
No question about it.
Now, you could say, well, he didn't win a Cy Young like he did with the Rays. Doesn't matter. That's still a good trade for the Padres.
Really good trade. And again, when he's on, the nastiest stuff in the big leagues, Blake Snell has that ability to be the nastiest pitcher on any given day.
All right, Tampa Bay Rays, latest in our Tier 1 tour
of
spring training camps.
Are you an over or under guy on
80 what?
Let's see.
They had 86 last year.
Expectations. I think they set it at 80, the same, 86.
Take the over.
Take the over.
They haven't gone lower than that since
17.
17.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, give me the over.
All right.
That Glasnow injury will hurt, though. That would be the reason they go under if they do.
He was hurt last year.
And they still made the playoffs. Yep. All right, this is your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Darius Rucker at Gallagher Square. Coming on August 25th. Tickets go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com, but you can win a pair early. Be the third caller right now at 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Call now for the Darius Rucker Gallagher Square tickets from Bennett Woods, and we'll be back with more. Padres talk, they were off yesterday, hopefully back today. Looking at some weather over in Arizona as well.
Just heard from Sammy Spring Training. He said it is pouring in Peoria, and it does not bode well for
the night game. But yeah,
tonight.
It could still be a washout today. That would be 2 days in a row.
Just bang it. No, you don't need them on the fields. It's fine. Just bang it.
Sliding around on wet fields. Yeah. All right, we'll be back. More Bennett Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Well, he's done it again to us, Paulie. Was just informed that second vacation has already been planned.
We haven't even gotten to first vacation yet.
It's unbelievable.
You gotta work ahead on these things. It's not until June. I mean, we're sitting here on a rainy March day. You need to think about, future sunny, warm vacations.
I just think about work and
every single day.
Dominating the airwaves. That's
all
I
work
think
and no play makes Woods a dull boy.
Yeah, I mean, so the best though is I asked him for the dates, and he gave me the dates, and I looked and I said, "Oh, good, it's a Monday, Tuesday, and a Wednesday." Oh my God!
Well, it's not vacation.
You ever heard of a weekend getaway?
It's not vacation if you go on the weekends. That's just a weekend.
Yeah.
A vacation means you're actually taking time off from work, getting away from the normal grind to do something different. If I just leave after the show on Friday and I'm back by Monday, that ain't a vacation.
What major?
That's a getaway, but not a vacation.
What major event will happen in the world of the San Diego Padres this year when Ben's gone?
June. Feels like
Mid-June.
A nondescript time of the year. Too early for the trade deadline.
Yeah, too early for trade deadline. Mid-June.
Yeah.
Too early.
Yeah.
Some minor moves. But yeah,
Possible,
Because every time something happens, this guy's never here.
What white vacation are you
Juan
taking?
Soto contract extension, middle of
which is
June.
fine, we'll handle that. What white vacation, what white location are you going this time?
We're going with Shell's family to Catalina.
She got just.
I have grown up in San Diego.
Never been?
Never once.
I've always had
have I ever been to Catalina in my life.
So you've got North Carolina to
Yes.
play Pinehurst.
Yep. That's next week.
You've got Catalina.
Yep.
And then your
Third vacation.
Third vacation is Santa Barbara.
Yeah. I'd only be a one-day miss like most years in July with my family. Annual trip.
Okay.
And that's all I have planned right now this year.
All right.
I don't even have fourth or I don't even have an inkling of what fourth or fifth vacation looks like this year.
Let's see.
Probably more golf at some point.
What are some other very lily white vacations?
Remember I had the
farm to table.
The farm to table vacation
flew
last
to
year.
New
That
York
was
for
impromptu.
dinner.
That was impromptu. That was very last minute.
He's unbelievable. What's the whitest vacation?
Skiing in Aspen.
Skiing in Aspen is a huge
I'm
one.
not a skier, but I do like a good lodge.
Lodges
Yeah,
are
I like
phenomenal.
lodging.
The funny thing is I used to love to ski. I really did. And the older I've gotten, the less it appeals to me. There's so many reasons, but most of which is the gear, lugging all the gear up there.
For me, it's the endless crashing.
Yeah,
and falling
I don't
down.
crash much.
Oh,
on
I did all the
skis.
time when I tried it.
On snowboarding, I did.
Skis,
I was terrible.
I couldn't slow
And
down.
my knees hurt. You're exhausted when you're done. Number one. The other thing is when
The chairlifts are kind of scary too.
they are a little
Yeah.
scary. The
Is
older
that,
you
is that
get.
just me or
No, it's scary.
for everyone?
And your feet are
scary.
dead,
Yeah,
and
they're
then
just
it stops and
hanging
you're like,
there.
Oh my god! Oh, but you look up.
It's like getting stuck on the sky ride at SeaWorld.
It's not pleasant.
I was snowboarding one time in high school, and my beanie, I was like adjusting it or something, and it fell. I dropped it, fell off the chairlift.
Oh, no.
And that part of the slope is always just full of soft powder. Like nobody goes under the chairlift.
Right,
really.
right, yeah.
So I had to just like bomb through there and
dig
kind of
in.
like you had to keep going. Otherwise, you would have just sunk into the powder. And I had to go grab that freaking beanie.
For me, the worst part of skiing now, and I did an appearance at Big Bear when I worked for 94.9, and they hooked it up with a lodging, and here's your ski rentals, and you're like, all right, cool. So you bring all your ski gear up. When you suit up and you've got the long johns on and the warm socks, the pants, the tight shirt, a sweater, a jacket, the gloves, the hat, you're sitting in the lodge and you're roast. Like you
it's
get to wait
so
in line
awful.
you wait
When
in line
it's
for
your
something, you're like,
inside, it's the worst.
And then you get outside and you're like, yeah, I'm not warm enough. This is not going to be warm enough. But
You're too hot inside. You're
Yeah.
still too cold outside.
it's still just too bitterly cold outside.
I've never tried skiing. I tried water skiing once. I
That's
was always a
not
board
fun.
guy. Like I would wakeboard
Yeah.
in the summer and then snowboard in the winter. So I was like, okay, I'll try water skiing one time, and
Tried it
left
once
leg
as a
went
kid.
one way, right leg
Yeah.
went the other. Face
Lake
plant. I'm like,
Lake Tahoe, which
Nope.
is very cold, by the way, even in the summer. That
Yeah.
water is freezing, and I could not get up. That was miserable.
I would give anything. anything in my power to see him try to water ski right now.
It's as awkward as you're going to imagine.
Whoa.
It doesn't really get that much.
Ben, lean back. Tighten your hand.
That's what they kept yelling at me. I could not figure it out.
I would give anything I own. Anything. I'll give you my Fender Stratocaster to see you attempt to get up on skis just one time. Just one time. Oh, Lord. All right. Well, enjoy your plethora of vacations.
Today, though, not a great day for vacations. The roadways are miserable. We've had reports of dozens of crashes already. Let's get another check of traffic here with Kelly Danick.
From the premier Buick GMC of Carlsbad Traffic Center, part of the Premier Auto Family, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by the all-new Premier Buick GMC of Carlsbad. Well, some major headaches on our roads this morning, guys. You know why. Let's start with this big problem on eastbound 78. You can find all lanes closed due to flooding. Traffic is being diverted off at El Camino Real, and now looks like westbound lanes are blocked as well. So do give yourself extra time because it looks like they are having to divert traffic off there as well. Oceanside Boulevard on-ramp to southbound 5 reports of a stalled vehicle. Still have this crash on the northbound side of the 15 before Carroll Canyon. Tow truck is on scene helping to clear that. Yeah, the rain is still coming down, is expected to taper off. But yeah, if you need to go into the office today and can hold off for just a bit, that might be a good idea. Brought to you by Premier Buick GMC of Carlsbad with all new 2023 GMC CR 1500 elevation package trucks, $4,000 off MSRP. Over 15 in stock to choose from. Stop in or shop online at carlsbadbuickgmc.com, a proud member of the Premier Carlsbad family of dealers. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, this hour on 97.3 The Fan, brought to you by Bob's Discount Furniture, home of the world-famous Bob-O-Pedic mattresses, with all the comfort and quality of a national mattress brand for half the price. No matter your budget, there's a Bob-O-Pedic Memory Foam Hybrid or Hybrid Plus mattress for you. Check them out at mybobs.com. If you want to join us, phone lines are open, 833-288-0973. We don't do that often, but we got like a 9-minute chunk here before the top of the hour if tier ones want to check in on a Wednesday.
Why are they calling?
I think people are still calling in for the Darius Rucker tickets. Those have been given away.
Okay, no more tickets, but
out
open phones for tier ones.
James makes a good point here. When are you heading to the Hamptons? That's gotta be. That's gotta be
Nantucket.
Nantucket. It's got Cape Cod. All of these.
Go visit Ina Garten or Martha Stewart somewhere.
When is that? If we were on the East Coast, I mean, you'd be in Nantucket every weekend.
Martha's Vineyard.
Yes, I've been there. Why did you get a bad? It's like
Kennebunkport,
Maine. Yeah,
I'd like to do the white European vacations, like the Cannes Film Festival.
Yeah,
something like that. Switzerland.
You'd fit in so well at Cannes. They're like, is that guy wearing Costco jeans and New Balance tennis shoes at Cannes?
That'd be so avant-garde.
Yeah.
It might actually be
man,
like,
he must be a really famous director.
Yeah. Fashion Week in Paris.
Why do directors always dress like crap? They all do, like for the most part. They're like, they don't look cool when they do it. But no, it's a good point, James. I had forgotten about the Hamptons entirely. We got callers? Anybody want to talk?
I don't know. The lines are blinking, but Paulie doesn't know if they're calling for tickets, which have been given away, or trying to join us. We'll have to have them screen
I say we take
a couple
anyway.
of phone calls.
We'll just take them?
Just
take
randomly on the
not?
air. All right. Let's go with Alan. Are you calling to talk to us, or are you calling to try to win tickets? Because we've already given away the tickets.
I'm just going to call to talk to you.
Great.
I live in Point Loma, and I was going to the game today, but I couldn't have picked the worst day. I had my tickets, everything. I'm just ready to leave right now, my wife and I.
No.
And you won't believe it. The heaviest rain's going to hit during the game.
Yeah.
In Peoria? Yeah.
In Peoria. And I wanted to see Bogart today because he'll be back.
Yeah.
And we're going to play the Guardians. So what a day to pick to go to the game. I can't believe it.
I'm so bummed for
now,
you.
Now, were you going to stay and go tomorrow as well? Hopefully the rain clears out.
No, it's just for today. I wanted to see Cleveland, and I thought, this will be a great game. And for the first 5 innings anyway, we get to see basically the Padres that are going to start, except for a couple of, Manny and Soto.
Yeah.
But I thought, this would be great. And so I planned it way ahead a couple of weeks ago. And then this happens. And then it's the worst rain of all. It's going to hit during the game.
I'm so disappointed.
I'm sorry for you. Yeah.
I hate that.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
I just can't believe it.
I mean, the whole reason they do spring training there is you get so little rain that it, doesn't usually impact stuff. And to come after an off day, I don't know. You could probably go back 20 spring trainings, find 2 off days in a row for the Padres. You rarely see that in Arizona. That does not happen very much. Alan, I'm sorry for you. Let's go to Sam from Del Mar. Sam, you are next up with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
How are you?
How are you?
I do not want Darius Rucker tickets, just for the record.
Sure, I think it's okay to be able to state that.
So I was wondering, how long before Tatis can play in minor league games to get prepped for his April return?
It's a good question. I actually had that same question, and after doing some research,
Right away, right?
He can April 5th. It's like 15 days before he is eligible to come off suspension. So, but I don't think there are any minor league games until about then anyway, because the major league season starts a little bit earlier. So really, he's not going to miss anything. He'll be able to start the minor league season on a rehab assignment when the minor league season starts. He can play for 2 weeks, and then as long as there aren't any rainouts, he should be eligible to return April 12th with the Padres on the road, or if there was a rain out, be pushed back a day because it's 20 more games of Major League Baseball before he can return.
And
but good
so,
question.
Yeah, really question. And yeah, I've seen people buying it's already post like, hey, it would be in Arizona for the Tatis. You know, just like our previous caller, you know, you think you're planning ahead. You obviously just never know what can happen. And I'm not saying he's going to get injured. I'm saying where will he go? Where will his assignment be? Will it be AA? Will it be AAA? Will it be? And they send him down to Elsinore just to get some reps? Like
keep him close.
I mean, I feel like it's either got to be AAA to get as close to major league pitching as possible, or single A to keep him as close to San Diego as possible. Maybe single A like for the first week.
Yeah.
So he can still be, you know, around the trainers and everything in San Diego, go for the games, come back, maybe play like 2 out of every 3 days. And then the last few days, ramp it up, head to El Paso with the Chihuahuas, get some pitch, you know, at least AAA pitching under your belt.
But it's
before
funny
making your season debut.
But it's funny because, like you just made a really, really astute point with the weather that we've been having. If he is rained out, let's say he's at Elsinore and Elsinore gets rained out for 2 games, that's 2 more games on the big league level. He has to wait. Yeah.
Well, no, not Elsinore, but if the Padres get rained
out
during the first 20 games of the season, so they've only played 18.
He has to.
He has to 20. It's 20 games, not 20 days. God. So if the Padres schedule gets impacted and say, hey, there's a rain out, we're going to make it up in August. Well, then all of a sudden, you know, that's a day later. Now he'll get to play the same number of games because there'll be another one later in the season that he wouldn't have played in, but it could push back the date of his debut if any games get rained out in those first 20 of the season.
It's a big deal. Yeah, it's a big deal. Want that kid back. Want him in the lineup and you know, ready to rock. I mean, need him on this team. So
these tier ones, the lines are full.
They're
let's go to Katie, top of the board. Katie, welcome to Ben and Woods.
Oh, good morning, guys. How's it going?
Good.
I just want to tell you, I am the person on Twitter who had her heart stomped on by Hannah.
Yes, my missus. I'm very, very sorry for her choice of GIF this morning.
It honestly, like, I was sort of bummed after the news about the game, so the laugh that it offered me has honestly made my morning. I can't even tell you.
So for those, let me explain,
please, because I am in the dark.
Ben is in the dark. He does not look at our Twitter, but. So we were talking earlier about streaming, and Katie's mom has Alzheimer's, and Katie said, this sucks because, you know, she likes to put the game on and it makes her happy. And I said, I'm so sorry to hear that. I said, if for some reason, maybe you could get a Fire Stick, plug that in, she could, you know, have the app. And she goes, it just may be too difficult. And I wrote back, you know, so sorry. I hope maybe an iPad or something. I don't know. And then my wife sent a GIF over with this heart, like a teddy bear taking a heart over to another teddy bear, but the other teddy bear grabs the heart and throws it back and it breaks. And Hannah, I was like, wow, that's very mean. And Hannah sent the wrong one. So that's the story on that. But luckily Katie got a laugh out of it. So.
Yeah, I died. I thought it was hysterical. But this is the first time I've called in, but my family, I just want to say how, like, I don't know if I can explain the level of excitement I have for this season of baseball. My family has owned tickets since 1974. So I was basically brought up in the stadium, and I mean, I am just beside myself with excitement for this season. I've literally been waiting my whole life for it.
It's like nauseating, isn't it? Like the excitement of like it's it's like
She
great.
was weaned on Randy Jones barbecue.
Yes, it's nauseating. I'm so excited for it. I'm not going to sleep the night before. The whole thing, like it's just going to be so. I mean, if they go out and they drop the first game, it's just going to be so hard to overreact. It's
last year's opening day was so fun.
It was
until
so
the last
Musgrove on the bump.
Yep.
Oh, the home opener. Yeah.
The home opener. Yeah.
Musgrove on the bump. They had a couple home runs.
Yeah.
I think Manny hit one.
It was electric.
Because the actual opening day when Robert Suarez gave up the lead
Yeah.
in the ninth to the
To the
Diamondbacks,
Diamondbacks.
not quite as
I
cool.
was just stood there, mouth agape, and went, "Oh no, oh no."
Katie, thank you for the call. She makes a point, and I brought up yesterday as well, though, with the streaming options. Hey, it's great if Major League Baseball provides free streaming of Padres games, but there's a certain segment of the population that's going to be difficult to figure out and set up, that they can't just turn the channel. Heck, I'm 47 and I still barely can find True TV on my actual cable when the NCAA tournament rolls around. So, I mean, take someone, our parents' age who isn't as technologically savvy and
parents' age, my age, 47.
And say, here's how you got to do it. I mean, I could definitely watch it on my phone. I still sometimes have trouble casting like from the phone to TV.
Never casted anything.
And you're going to want it on the big TV, not just watch Padres games on your phone all season long. So you got to figure out how to do that.
You can always listen right here on 97.3
Yes, you can.
The Fan to every single game.
Theater of the mind.
Yeah.
Jesse paints an incredible picture.
A beautiful portrait, if you will.
All guests on Bennett Woods appear on the Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline. Save money the right way with Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad. Visit them today in the Carlsbad Auto Mall. Chevrolet, find new roads. Yeah, we can get through a few more calls and then get to a Reindl report as we start our 9 o'clock hour next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. All right, those open phones went so well. We can squeeze in a couple of more before the Reindl Report if anyone wants. 833-288-0973.
I hope we're not pressing our luck, though. They did go very well.
They went extremely well.
Yeah.
We don't take a ton of calls on this show. It's not a caller-driven sports talk radio show.
No, sir.
Of the 1987 mode.
Correct.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
I don't really ever want to do that show.
No.
We talk about what we want to talk about.
Yeah.
And hopefully you enjoy listening to us talking about that.
Yeah, it's free service.
But every once in a while, why not? It's a rainy day. Not a ton of sports going on. WBC is returning today with a couple of big games, obviously.
I mean, I really want
NCAA tournament's tomorrow, but what more can we say about San Diego State against Charleston?
I want to talk.
Hope the Aztecs win.
I want to talk about bifurcation at some point. I don't know how many listeners are interested in bifurcation.
I mean, I don't know how many people understand what that word even means.
We'll fill you in, Paulie. How about, soon I'll tell you about bifurcation.
Do it next segment.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It's the first time I've ever heard that word.
All right.
Let's go to Dale. You are next up with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Hello.
Hello, Dale. How are you?
I'm very good. I got something to share with y'all.
Please.
Shoot.
So about 2 weeks before the end of the season, I was up in Del Mar at a Starbucks. And I walked in the store and I saw this gentleman over standing on the left-hand side waiting for a coffee wearing like a thermo Padre jersey shirt I've never seen before. So I walked up, grabbed my coffee, came back, and just out of the blue, I just said, "Hey, did you go to the Padre game last night?" He goes, "In fact, I did." I go, "Did they win?" He goes, "Yeah, Cronenworth hit a walk-off single in the bottom of the 10th or whatever it was." And I go, "It's about time that we have an owner for this city and this ball club that cares about the city, cares about the fans, just everything in general." And he goes, "What do you know about the owner?" And I said, "Well, I know he's from the O'Malley family, and they have a way of spending money and being successful." And he tells me, "I'm Peter."
Oh my God.
Wow.
So I sat there and talked to him for probably about 10 minutes. Probably the most humble gentleman I've ever met in my life. I played professional soccer for 10 years, so he started asking me lots of. So basically, I told him, it's at some point, some players just need a change of atmosphere, and it's obviously it's a business. It's nothing personal, but some players just need to change. And he was talking to me about some things, and he was like saying, "You're 100% correct." He goes, "All you can do is give them the pieces, and it's up to the players to perform." And I said, "You're 100% correct."
Now wait
and
for a
then
sec.
He started talking.
Dale, quickly.
Yeah.
Did you? All right. So you have a chance meeting with the owner of the San Diego Padres, Peter Seidler, and once you guys got comfortable with each other after 5-6 minutes, were you giving him roster building advice? Were you naming names to the owner of the San Diego
GM?
Yeah. Were you junior GMing the owner of the Padres, Peter Seidler?
Well, he flat told me. I said this to him. I said, "Hey, this is hypothetical." I said,
"I love this.
You guys win the World Series this year, and Fernando Tatis is expendable."
No.
And he just shrugged his shoulders at me and didn't say a word. But the thing that I'm going to tell you guys that you guys continually talk about all the time is Juan Soto. He flat told me to my face, "I'm keeping him."
Yeah,
that's what I like to hear.
Some inside
sources.
news.
Dale says, and from the horse's mouth, that Peter Seidler is keeping Juan Soto. That also jives with everything that Peter Seidler has said to us and everybody else, that he is going to do everything he can to keep Juan Soto in a Padres uniform. You know who else he said that about? Manny Machado.
Yep.
And everyone got really worried that Manny, opt out, here it comes. And guess what happened? Padres signed Manny Machado to a contract extension. I love that, though. I mean, it could have gone really bad. If you didn't like the owner and you were saying, "Yeah, I like the team, but that owner is real PO, whatever." It's like, it's like, "Oh, I'm Peter.
I'm him."
No. It's like, the owner's great. He cares about the city. Oh, by the way, hi, I'm
that guy.
I'm Peter Seidler. Nice to meet you.
Very interesting. Very
interesting. He does blend in. I mean, he was wearing a Padres gear, but Peter can blend in. He doesn't scream that guy owns a Major League Baseball team.
Yeah. He definitely does not. Paulie, would you like to know about bifurcation?
First, we do the Reindl report.
After the Reindl
and
report.
then we find out.
Well, I thought we had time.
About bifurcation.
That's fine.
And what medication you can take.
Yeah.
To alleviate your bifurcation.
Bifurcation is going to blow your mind.
I can't wait.
All right.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Okay, how are you?
on 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a oh yeah? Oh yeah.
All right.
Phone calls goes that well. We may need to start building it in more regularly because those were all really
Those
good
were
calls.
very, very good.
You know
Well
what?
done.
We have really good tier 1s.
Yeah, we do.
I think that's part of it is that there just aren't a lot of bad tier 1s out there. You're great. You're all great.
It's just like you're so living dangerously, though, when you just go randomly.
We've had some bad experiences as well.
I didn't like Dale telling him that Fernando's expendable. That I did not care.
If
for
they won the
that.
World Series.
He's still not expendable, for the love of God.
Well, Peter doesn't want to win a World Series.
I mean,
he wants to win several World Series.
Definitely not expendable. I think he's gonna turn some heads this year again.
I would agree. It's the Reindl Report brought to you by your San Diego Sockers. The Lords of Indoor are on the march to the Ron Newman Cup playoffs. Get your tickets today at sdsockers.com. I'm going to talk a little spring college football here.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. It's we got the game coming up in April is when spring football games all get going. And there is going to be one game.
Aztecs are doing theirs next week, I believe.
Is it next week?
Yeah, Tuesday, I think. No,
ESPN will
Thursday.
air one college spring football game in April.
Alabama.
No.
Auburn. No.
Georgia. No.
Ohio State.
Colorado.
Obviously.
The prime effect is continuing.
A
and
bottom tier Pac-12 team. I wonder why they're going to Colorado for a spring game.
For comparison, Georgia, national champions, perennial top 2 teams in the country. They're on ESPN2. Everybody else will be on the conference networks or ESPN Plus. But one game will be on the big channel, ESPN, and it's Colorado. Their spring game, it's on April 22nd. And those are traditionally, obviously, like free to attend, right? I mean, how many people, especially Colorado, like how many people are really there? They are selling tickets to that game for the first time.
Wow.
$10 a ticket.
Wow.
Students get free tickets. And as of earlier this week, Colorado said they had already sold 35,000 tickets.
I mean, that's a cool stadium, but it's not huge. That's probably like most of the stadium right there is already filled up for their spring game.
35,000 for a spring game is insanity.
Crazy. We've been talking about it since Dion signed there. I mean, it's incredible how much influence he has, at least with the media, and putting that school on the map. Because what would a Colorado spring game have gotten 2 years ago?
I mean, dude,
last year.
They haven't been
20 people.
Yeah, they haven't been relevant since like Rashawn Salam. I was a kid.
The whole country day.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, give me a break. Like, but now, look, with all that attention, this comes a ton of scrutiny. But I think Dion is somebody that has faced that his entire life. So he's well equipped to deal with that. Going to be very, very interesting to see how it all shakes out at the end.
Elsewhere, we go to Major League Baseball. Kike Hernandez recently revealed he was doing a little Q&A with Justin Turner. It looks like it was a Red Sox photo day. They were all having some fun, and they were talking, and Kike revealed that during the 2020 NLDS series, he had an accident in his uniform. made a duty in his pants, and he blamed
in the playoffs.
Yeah, he blamed being on a lot of antibiotics because he had a tooth infection during that series, and it caused him to have
incontinence. No, that's all right. Is that the same thing, or is that?
I thought antibiotics gave you the gym jams.
We're speaking in euphemisms that I don't even totally understand.
I thought antibiotics made you jammed up.
Constipation is what you're referring
not these
to.
ones. Whatever he was on, that's what he's blaming it on. Who knows? He could have just happened.
He went duty in his pants.
He went duty in his pants. So that was revealed
Usually
recently.
Football players who like to tell those stories.
Yeah,
they love to tell those stories.
They really
That's
do
weird.
like telling those stories. They're
And,
like proud of it.
So since that made the rounds,
the runs,
his new friends at Dude Wipes gave him a year's supply to get him through the season. There's pictures of him laying on a bed full of Dude Wipes packages.
It's a weird name for the product. Dude Wipes.
I love Dude Wipes.
No runs, no hits, no errors. Gotta come up with a good tagline.
That's a better tagline than the name. Dude sounds too much like duty.
But that is what they are wiping.
That's exactly what they're for.
Didn't call them duty wipes.
They're trying to market toward men.
Right. Man wipes.
That doesn't sound any
Isn't
better.
that? Should we ring the misogyny
Doesn't
bell?
sound any better.
What if we ring the misogyny bell on Dude Wipes?
Well, I mean,
Maybe.
there's products marketed toward women as well. Is that misogyny? Is that the opposite? Is there a word for that? Like secret deodorant.
I've used it. It's fantastic.
Yeah. But it's made pH strong enough
for a man. Strong enough for a man, but pH
made
balanced
for a woman. That was very misogynistic.
But I don't think it goes the other way.
Think about that though. That ad from the 80s claiming that it's strong enough for a man.
Made for a woman.
That's a very misogynistic
I
ad
don't think
campaign.
it can go the other way.
But not against men. That's also misogynistic against women, like claiming they're less strong than men.
That's okay. That's your point.
Mm-hmm.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Kike
Strong
Hernandez
enough
is,
for a man.
loaded up for the year.
It works on men too, by the way.
It absolutely does. I've used it.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. It smells good. pH balanced.
Not for you though.
Not for me. Not made for me.
I always assumed like your arms would get singed off if you use the wrong pH of deodorant.
Your muscles start to atrophy. You're like, what is happening? I thought this was strong enough
like
for a
that
man.
guy at the end of Indiana Jones and the Lost
he
Crusade.
melts.
You start melting because you use
the
the
secret
deodorant meant
deodorant.
for women.
Yeah.
Wasn't pH balanced for you.
I mean, have you ever used your wife's shampoo? Yeah, I use it all the time. I get in trouble for using her conditioner.
We now just have one shampoo bottle.
I get in trouble all the time.
All right, wrapping it up here. Kind of a sportsy story, but have you guys heard of somebody on Twitter named Dov Kleeman?
I've seen it.
I feel like I have seen it as well. Yeah.
DOV. Kleiman?
Kleiman, Kleiman.
Yeah.
So he's an NFL insider. He's got 150,000 followers and growing.
Covering NFL news and transactions. Recommended to turn on notifications. Contact via DM.
Now his profile picture is like a Bitmoji or whatever, an avatar, and he has risen to popularity doing the like he made news earlier this week by just basically reposting what Trey Wingo said. He said
he texted 3 minutes ago. Aaron Rodgers texted Pat McAfee's show to say, I think it's time to let the world know what's going on.
So he's probably watching the Pat McAfee show and just relaying that news.
Okay.
A couple days ago, he posted a picture of Aaron Rodgers in a Packers uniform and said, breaking, Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers is being traded to the Jets per Trey Wingo. Quote, it's done. So he's just doing a lot of the repurposing from other guys, but he has also put out his own source, his own feelers out there and said, hey, this is what I'm hearing. This is what's happening. And it's come to be true. And so a lot of people have been like Dan Levitard, our colleagues at WFAN, Boomer and Geo. They did like a whole segment on this guy. They go, who the hell is Dov Kleeman? Nobody knows who he is. He's been like attributed to Sports Illustrated, Pro Football Talk.
It's like Bro Bible, it says in his bio.
A bunch of other outlets. Even where is it?
He's mostly just quoting other people, though. I'm
Jets
looking back
wide
at his
receiver
feed.
Garrett Wilson was convinced because of his tweet that Aaron Rodgers was going to be traded to the Jets, and he had to go and say, I ain't going, fake it. I thought Dov Bro tweet was the news I was waiting for. SMH, I don't know anything. Sorry about that. And so
is it like
Boomer and Gio did like a full segment. They're like,
so is he like a MLB on Facts guy? Is he like a Jenna
I think it's
Tolles guy?
I think it's an AI, like it's a bot. Maybe
just
repurposing. It's just taking other people's things and repurposing them.
So they were talking about him, Boomer and Gio, and they just said, what does he do? He has 150,000 followers. Nobody knows who this guy is. He's just taking other information and putting it out there. There's no pictures of him. Is he a real person? Has he ever done an interview? Like, who is he? And so they, like, people on Twitter were going nuts. People on Reddit were really like, there is a deep rabbit hole on Reddit right now about this supposed NFL insider. And they actually, their producer, Al Dukes for Boomer and Gio, he reached out to Dov Kleeman on Twitter, sent him a direct message, and they believe he's a real person, although he said he doesn't do radio hits. He would be willing to have an off-air conversation on Zoom with them to prove that he's a real person. But all we know is that nobody really knows who this guy is. That's
man of mystery.
Mystery insider.
Breaking news and whatnot.
I thought Shams was fake for a while, but he's real. He kind of burst onto the scene as an NBA insider. Like, who was this guy?
He like 19 or he was like a college
really
student
young. Like, he was like
major,
crazy young when he started breaking
he was like
giant
in
NBA
school
news.
still, and he was like competing with Woj in the NBA.
Yeah, good stuff on the Roundel Reports. I cannot wait for bifurcation talk.
I can't either.
Bifurcation.
Is this a procedure that needs to be done for us?
No.
Medical? It's not medical.
It's not medical. Tune in next to find out all about bifurcation.
I tease. I, of course, know exactly what it is.
As do I.
So we'll come back with some bifurcation talk with Bennett Woods after a check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan. The Ben Woods Open is taking place Thursday, April 6th at Rancho Bernardo Inn. 1 week from today, the link will go live to get your spots in the tournament, Wednesday, March 22nd. Be ready. Thank you to our sponsors, Maestro Dobel Tequila and Bushmills Irish Whiskey. And one thing I can tell you about the Ben Woods Open, use whatever golf balls you want to use.
Indeed. Bifurcation does not exist at the Ben
Want to use
Woods
those
Open.
novelty exploding golf balls?
Yeah,
go right ahead.
Don't be a clown. Somebody's got to clean that up.
You ever have one of
Hear
those?
that, Foster? Don't bring those.
Yeah. Ow, crap. My whole plan down the drain. I was going to try to prank Wood. Get one of them exploding balls in there.
Oh, really? This isn't a Pro V1. This is an exploding ball, huh?
It's
The chalky texture didn't give it away.
White chalk everywhere. Hey, thanks for coming out, guys. Can't wait for you to not do your tournament here again. Yeah, don't bring exploding golf
Has
balls.
anyone done a gender reveal with like a blue or
yeah.
pink exploding golf ball?
Are you kidding? They do no, but bifurcation, Paulie, is something that they are now kicking around on the professional golf circuit, the PGA, and other places as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Royal and Ancient, all the major tours, the USGA has discussed implementing a rule in which they would limit the flight of golf balls for like top professional players, like 20 yards short, like try to make balls that fly 20 yards shorter. Like if you're a baseball fan, imagine
baseball already do that.
Yeah, baseball already did this.
I mean, baseball
How'd that work?
Try to do it by like a fraction, like, like a foot or two. They're thinking of like really dialing back the distance on golf balls for professional golf players. And the reason they call it bifurcation is this rule would not apply to you and me. It would still be legal to play, the latest Titleist Pro V1 or Callaway, the Chrome Softs, whatever ball you like to play. I like the triple track Chrome Softs from Callaway. That would be legal. Hit it as far as you can. But for pros, they'd have to use these special balls that wouldn't go as far.
It's asinine.
Asinine. What the purpose is clearly understandable. Guys hit it so much farther than they used to.
So what?
That they're overwhelming golf courses that can't keep up. You can't. There's only so much distance you can add to a golf course. There's not land to make a par four that was used to be 400 yards was a long par four. They'd hit a 250-yard drive. They'd still have a 150-yard 7-iron coming in. Now a 400-yard hole, they had a 350-yard drive, and they chip it to the green, essentially. It's a completely different hole and,
Guess what?
And game and sport for these guys.
Guess what? They've earned that. It's not just the ball that does it. These guys are swinging harder. They're training.
It's not. It's their training methods, it's clubs and everything. But one way that the USGA thinks that they can dial it back is simply by dialing back the golf ball for these pros.
Walk me through this. So how many yards did you say it would take off?
They're talking about 20 or so.
Okay, 20 yards. I've seen quotes. Yeah, man, these tournaments are lame. Watching a guy go, driver wedge into every green is not fun. So now what? Driver 9-iron makes all that much difference to you?
A 140-yard shot versus a 160-yard shot is a different animal for a golfer.
Well, that's not 100.
I don't agree with the rule. I've talked to a number of people in golf. I've listened to people talk about this, and one of the great arguments against it is that golf ball companies, use professional golfers to advertise their product. Titleist, Callaway. Hey, I want to play Callaway because that's what Xander Schauffele plays.
Yes.
But
just like every other company.
If they're not playing the ball that they're selling to the public, all of a sudden it doesn't benefit the company anymore. They're no longer, play the ball that Xander plays. Well, I don't want to play the ball that Xander plays. It goes 20 yards shorter. So he's not using that ball anymore that I would be using. It then kind of wrecks the whole model. Plus, the companies are still going to have to make these balls for the pros that they can't sell to anybody else.
Correct.
And by the way, the pros aren't going to buy them. They just get them for free.
Right.
So you're basically forcing golf club ball companies to make balls that no one is going to buy at all.
And not only think about it real quick too. How many people in a golf tournament? 100 and something?
150, 144. Yeah.
Yeah. 150 guys all go hit 75 balls before a round. Well, they're not going to hit the old balls. They're going to hit the new less and improved balls that
new and disimproved.
So let's take our friends at Callaway. Hey, we need a bunch of those new balls for the tournament.
Range.
Yeah. Here's 75,000 balls on the house that Paul can't hit, Woods can't hit, Ben can't hit. Joe, 16 handicap, he can't hit. But I got to make 75,000 of these so these dudes can play. It's absolutely asinine. Justin Thomas absolutely nailed this, Ben. Quote, if you're swinging 127 mile an hour, more power to you. People are running faster now too. So what? We going to make the length of a mile longer so the fastest mile time doesn't change?
Lead shoes for Usain Bolt?
Yeah. Hey, Usain, I see what you're wearing. I'm going to need you to add a weight vest on your back to run. It's stupid. I for one,
you want to narrow the fairways up even more and, make the rough longer, to penalize those guys who are
make the
hitting
greens
at
faster.
370.
Yes.
Go right ahead.
No problem with that. But this is what, have you guys ever said, man, I hit that. Even if I hit one too far and it goes in the rough or the water, I never once have said, man, I hit that ball too far. I hit that ball too well. Have you ever been out to watch golf and say, I don't like watching him. He hits the ball too far.
No, it's always impressive.
It's absurd.
And I like the tournaments like the U.S. Open where they struggle to break par.
Fun
and
as
it's
hell.
difficult. But I'm guessing the U.S. Open will still be difficult.
You don't want every tournament that way.
No,
you don't.
Birdies are fun to watch.
They're great.
So I'm opposed to the bifurcation rule. Pros should be able to use the same balls as everybody else.
Yeah.
And it's still in its proposal stages.
Please
They're
don't
getting
do
so
this.
much blowback, though. I wonder if they'll really follow through with it or not. And that is bifurcation talk.
Yeah, bifurcation, Paulie. Now you know.
On a Wednesday.
Thank you very much.
Oh, it's some good talk earlier this show about the streaming possibilities, the bankruptcy of Diamond Sports.
This is helpful stuff.
Some helpful stuff. If you're wondering how are you going to watch some Padres games with our guest from the New York Post, Josh Kosman, who joined us earlier. We're going to bring some of that back for you in our final segment next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Sauer 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Pfizer and BioNTech. Planning for an upcoming trip? Why, yes, I am.
Yes, you are.
It's important to know that
Nobody
updated COVID-19 boosters
plans more.
are currently available. I am updated. No cost either. Remember, immunity could take time to build. Check eligibility. Schedule yours at vaccines.gov. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech. Yeah, Padres games. Will they be available on television? Is it going to be streaming only? What is the bankruptcy of Diamond Sports, a.k.a. Bally Sports, impact your ability to watch Padres baseball? We talked about it early this morning with Josh Kosman, business writer for the New York Post, who's been covering the story. We're going to bring that back to you right after this check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the premier Buick GMC of Carlsbad Traffic Center, part of the Premier Auto Family, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Valvoline Instant Drive-Thru Oil Change, your 15-minute instant drive-thru oil change. Still some scattered showers around the county, guys, and it is wet everywhere, so please give yourself plenty of extra time. We've had numerous spin-outs on the coastline, southbound side of the 5, right before Barcelona. There's a crash over to the right shoulder. Still going to find both directions of the 78 closed at El Camino Real, all due to flooding. Expect to be diverted off there. Still clearing a crash on the northbound side of the 15, right before the King Freeway, and northbound 15 near the 805. Looks like a large pothole causing some flat tires on a lot of vehicles, so watch out for some confusion there. Just continue to take it extra carefully, especially on those transition ramps. Keep your speeds down, and please have your headlights on so other drivers can see you. Stop by any of the 30 San Diego Valvoline Instant Drive-Thru Oil Change centers. You don't have to get out of your car. It usually only takes 15 minutes or less. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for discounts and locations nearest you. Valvoline Oil Change centers are open 7 days a week. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Joining us right now on our Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline from the New York Post. He's been covering the Diamond Sports bankruptcy. They're the company also known as Bally Sports, where you get your Padres games. Josh Kosman is with us here on 97.3 The Fan. Josh, thank you for your time this morning. You're on with Ben and Woods in San Diego.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
First of all, we had an update yesterday on this story. You were writing about it earlier this week, but the bankruptcy is now official from Diamond Sports. Does that change anything, or was all expected at this point?
This was all expected. In fact, Diamond has really been planning for this since last fall. And so has MLB, by the way. Both have sort of been planning for this.
So we had kicked it around yesterday on our show, and for our listeners, our listeners and Padres viewers, we go through this every year. You know, they 1 year it was, if you get YouTube TV, you can watch the games. That went away after a year. It's
always right around this time.
It's
too,
always,
2 weeks before opening day, and everyone goes, "Where am I going to watch the games?"
There's this panic that sets in San Diego, Josh, and it is, oh no, where do I watch these games? Do I need to sign up for cable? Like I said, I need to watch the games. I love to watch the games. I signed up for cable, so I've got cable. I've got MLB TV. I'm spending a lot of money to do so. That said, for our audience out there, what could you tell them about maybe the best way to be able to view the games this year?
Well, it looks as though, based on our reporting, that Bally's is going to drop the Padres. They're going to reject the Padres contract. They lose $20 million a year on the Padres deal. They pay the team roughly $60 million and take in less than $40 million from cable companies, along with advertising. So in bankruptcy, you can reject a contract. So they are planning to reject the Padres contract. That could happen in days. It could happen in weeks. It could be a month or two, but it'll be somewhat soon.
Go ahead.
MLB, knowing this, although they and Diamond do not, or Bally's, the same thing. They don't get along, but just the same, MLB is prepared for this. And they are planning to stream Padres games for free until they can work out, and if they work out, new deals with the Cox and other cable companies in the San Diego area. So the plan is for no Padres fan to go without an ability to watch the game on television. But, these are plans. Things are uncertain, so we'll see.
Josh, can you speak any more on how Bally Sports got into this situation? Because for the Padres in particular, you said, well, they're paying out 60 and they're only making 40, so they're losing 20 million. Ratings have been through the roof. Interest in the Padres is higher than it has ever been in my lifetime. You'd be thinking Bally Sports should be doing really, really well. I mean, they couldn't have even imagined that they'd be doing this well over the life of the contract they signed a few years ago. So why are things going so badly for Bally Sports, especially here in San Diego?
Good question. So on a macro level, they paid $9.6 billion in 2019, only 4 years ago. Sinclair did, for what were the Fox Sports networks. They renamed it Diamond and then sold the naming rights to Bally's. That basically Sinclair bought this for $9.6 billion then. At the time, they thought it was a steal, but as it's turned out, cord cutting has accelerated quite a bit, and most cable companies around the country now have sports tiers. So that eliminates non-sports fans from paying the price for a Bally's TV in their market. So you couple those two together, and the amount of money one can get from regional sports networks is completely collapsed. So this $9.6 billion deal included $8 billion in debt financing, meaning that Bally's, Diamond, borrowed $8 billion to finance the transaction. So the company was heavily in debt, is heavily in debt. That's why they just declared bankruptcy. And the earnings have completely fallen off the map. So this turned out to be a terrible acquisition. So in bankruptcy, what the creditors hope to do is make Diamond profitable by focusing on the profitable contracts and rejecting the unprofitable ones. And I hate to say it for San Diego, but the Padres are probably the most unprofitable contract they have in baseball, the NBA, or NHL.
Like Ben just said, it's staggering to think about based on just the fever pitch for the team here in San Diego. Josh, we're talking to Josh Kosman, business journalist for the New York Post. Do we trust Major League Baseball to, and I know you said they've been prepared, they've known this was coming. Do we trust Major League Baseball to be able to deliver this product seamlessly? You're talking about a league who we all love that don't know what they're doing with their baseballs at this point, in the game. Their baseballs are different for certain teams. And now I got to trust that they're not only going to give me a great product, they're going to do it for free. Typically, don't we get what we pay for, especially when it comes from Major League Baseball?
I look, there's no way to know until this actually rolls out.
Fair, yeah.
My guess is there's enough on the line for baseball, and they've had long enough to prepare, and they've been hiring executives who basically ran the Fox network, that I'm going to guess they're going to get it right. But again, we won't know until it rolls out. The good news is if they do get it right, they're planning to offer it for free until they can work deals with local cable companies, which will be for less money than they're paying now. And then they will still offer over the top for about $15 a month, which is less than what teams are charging that do offer over the top service. So in the end, this may be good for Padres fans, but on the other hand, there could be some bumpiness on the way there.
Josh, last thing for me, obviously, we haven't seen it here in San Diego where Peter Seidler has spent exorbitantly on his payroll, but in a lot of other smaller markets, you see owners saying, hey, we got to keep the payroll low because we don't get as much. Now we're hearing that those contracts, might be even lower than ever. Does this have the potential to affect the economics of baseball and the ever escalating salaries for players? Could this be a legitimate, like in the next contract talks between players and owners, a sticking point where they say, hey, the media deals aren't there anymore. We can't keep paying you what we've been paying you.
Well, if they don't, just not to interrupt you, but if it's not, they're going to make it so. They're going to say that that's happened. I mean,
sure, yes.
They're absolutely, the owners are absolutely going to go to the table, I think, in the next CBA and say, well, I mean, look at all this money we lost. They did it, they did
for the pandemic.
For the
pandemic. Of
look
course.
at all this money we lost.
That's business
TV
101,
deals.
Josh, I assume.
I'm sure that's going to happen.
Well, I think you guys are definitely right. Now, whether Peter Seidler, who made a fortune in private equity, whether this impacts him considering the money he's been spending out there, I don't know. Next thing you guys are going to tell me it's raining in San Diego.
Pouring. Miserable.
Yes, I don't know Seidler's personal situation beyond the fact he's a private equity bazillionaire, but overall, yes, it will definitely impact certain teams. and a lot of baseball teams don't make money as is, and this will be a significant hit, and it could be for the Padres. Again, how much it impacts him. He should have been aware this was coming in the offseason when he signed Xander Bogaerts to a gosh amounts of money. So, by the way, I'm not saying that won't work out, putting my fan hat on.
That's all right.
It was a lot of money for a shortstop in the back end of his career. But, that being another matter, he didn't seem reluctant to spend money in the offseason, and he must have known this was coming. So I don't know how this will impact the Padres directly. But for baseball overall and small team owners, and I'm not sure I'd consider the Padres a small market team anymore, he's somewhere in the gray area. But let's say for the Cleveland Indians, where Paul Dolan doesn't have enough money to sign big name players and was making a lot from his media rights deals, and their contract will be rejected. They were operating on a knife's edge anyway. So will it affect the Guardians? I would think for sure. The Padres, it could, although the way Seidler's been spending, maybe not.
Josh, really appreciate the insight. Thank you so much for your time. If you could do me just one favor, I have a pet peeve. Could you talk to the headline writers at the Post in New York? When they write about the Padres, they abbreviated the Pods, P-O-D-S.
Yeah.
No one calls them that. It's the Padres, P-A-D-R-E-S, not the P-O-D-S. But they'll do the headline, Pods beat Mets in playoffs, P-O-D-S, Pods.
You're rubbing that in a little bit.
Well, yes.
Yeah,
but I don't know. It's just a pet peeve of mine. They're not the Pods, P-O-D-S.
And they're not the Pads either. P-A-D-S doesn't really work necessarily. I don't know.
I'll pass your message along.
Thank you, Josh.
Thanks,
appreciate
man. That was
it.
great stuff.
Sure, thanks for having me.
Josh Kosman from the New York Post with us on our Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline. Save money the right way with Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad. Visit them today in the Carlsbad Auto Mall. Chevrolet, find new roads. Back live, 9:50, last 5 minutes of the show. Venezuela going to go undefeated, I think, in pool play, leading Israel 3-0 in the current game at the World Baseball Classic.
As I speculated.
Got two more first four games tonight, including a Mountain West team in action, Nevada, Arizona State, in an 11 seed versus 11 seed first four game tonight to fill out that entire 64 team bracket for the start of the tournament tomorrow morning.
And then it's go time.
And then it is go time. By the time we are off the air, we're less than 24 hours away from tip off of the first game and only about less than 26 hours and 15 minutes from the Aztecs taking on Charleston in the first round in Orlando, Florida.
Buddy. Just got a visit from our brand manager, Adam Klug, who he walked in with a bit of a worried look on his face. He, if you wanted to tweet him today and say, I hate Woods, fire Woods, which that's one he got recently, you're not going to be able to, Ben, because he's lost his account.
He lost it?
Yeah, he's been hacked.
Oh, no.
He got hacked.
Oh, no.
This dude, really, by the way, we have to take an inordinate amount of trainings.
I did one yesterday.
At Odyssey. I have one due today. I did one on Friday.
If someone texts you a random 6-digit code, don't forward it on to anybody else.
Correct.
Just tell you that.
Also, if a random number sends you a link to click, don't click it. It's like
if you're not expecting it, if you don't know who that is,
even if they say your
pretty basic,
your bank account is about to be frozen. Like, look at it. Like, wait, I don't even bank at that bank. It's probably a scam.
If you get a text or an email even that says, hey, we're about to shut your power off. Like, they don't text you. They don't call you. Like, it doesn't work that way. They're not going to email you a link to click and give you your debit card. So our man in there got a text message with a link.
Oh, boy.
He clicks the link. Account hacked. It's gone. He's sending codes. I thought, because I had text from this thing before, and they gave me this code, so I sent back a code, and now I've lost my account. Now, you can still see his account, but his name is gone. It says period check mark. His profile picture is gone. I mean, he's lucky. Whoever hacked his thing hasn't put like wieners and stuff on there, but which has happened, before. So he said being without my Twitter account is crippling me. Now, for me,
it's like being naked.
Yeah. The fact that Adam doesn't have a Twitter account is one of the better days, I think, for me in a long time.
He can still access the 97.3.
He's going to take over the 97.3 account even more.
You're right.
I hope he hasn't let that get hacked.
He can't tweet his personal thoughts from his personal account.
All right.
And now I'll
if he's
go
not
to the
li- if he's
97.3
not-
the
if
fan
he's-
account.
I don't know if he's listening or not. Do me a favor. If you're listening right now and you have access to your Twitter, tweet at 97.3 the fan SD. Tweet, hey, love you guys. I would just want to see something. I just want to see something.
I know what you're
You know what I'm doing.
I know exactly what you're doing.
If anyone, Ben, gives him any attention, he retweets it. He retweets everything he gets. I've never seen a human being.
Yeah, compose a tweet. that
Compose a
just says,
tweet that
listen
says,
to you guys all day
I listen
long.
to you guys every day. I love you. And don't tag him, just tag the station.
Yeah.
And
It'll be like a string of 19 straight retweets from the account.
it's every time. I go, hey, you don't have to. Somebody will write back like, awesome. And he'll read. Sammy Level posted a video of him talking to Brent Honeywell. Yeah. And a guy will write back, oh, hell yeah. And he'll retweet.
Love
So
Honeywell.
I'm scrolling through 97.3 The Fan, and I just see retweets of, hell yeah, awesome, kick ass, this rules.
That's what the like button's for.
Just like it.
Just hit the heart and move on. You don't need to retweet that into everybody's feed.
He's got.
I mean, every once in a while, an exceptionally nice compliment. All right, promote it. So show that people love you out there. Not all of them. Yeah. Good point, Woods.
One.
Why are we whispering? I don't know. He can still listen to us on the radio, no matter how quietly we talk.
He could be watching on YouTube. I don't know. I don't know. But he lost his personal account today, and he is in pure hell. He is in pure hell.
We have a very good show planned for tomorrow. It is the NCAA tournament. The San Diego State Aztecs will take the court about 3 hours after our show, but at 8 a.m. tomorrow? 7 a.m.? What time?
7 a.m.
7 a.m. tomorrow, the legendary Steve Fisher will join us to talk about his program that he built going to the NCAA tournament again under Brian Dutcher. Obviously, it's always a must listen on the first day of the NCAA tournament. Always love talking to Coach Fish anytime, but especially on a day like tomorrow. So we'll talk to Fish at 7 a.m. tomorrow.
People are tweeting.
Here come the retweets. All right, that'll do it for us. Coach Braden, they're coming up next for Paul Reindl, our executive producer, Stephen Woods. I'm Ben Higgins. Back tomorrow. Stephen Woods on 6 a.m., San Diego's #1 sports station. Retweet this at 97.3 The Fan.